Today is a big day for the Bengals in honoring their legends. We'll dive into that and so much more right now on a fired up Friday edition of First Word.
Welcome to First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show, breaking down the biggest moments and the stories shaping Cincinnati sports with analysis that cuts through. First Word, setting the agenda in Cincinnati sports.
Welcome in to First Word and happy Friday. I'm James Rapien. I'll be joined by Jacob Tissot, Marisa Contipelli momentarily. Also, if you're thinking World Cup, wondering about the World Cup, Jeff Cameron will join us at 9 right here on your morning show, Cincinnati. Every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. And today is a big day for a bunch of reasons. No, it's not because June 12th is some wild day in Cincinnati sports history, but the Bengals Ring of Honor voting ends today. And so if you're a season ticket holder and you're just tuning in and you're wondering, well, who should you vote for? Let this be a reminder that the Ring of Honor is about honoring the legends and the legends of the past. And the Bengals, well, they've been playing catch up since they started the Ring of Honor in 2021. And so you see some of those inductees to my right, and the new ones, the new nominations of Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap and A.J. Green and Leon Hall and Andrew Whitworth, all deserving in their own right in some order of being inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor at some point. But as far as being inducted goes, the other 7, they would have been in there a long time ago. And that's why I hope that season ticket holders get this right. I hope that they look at this and say, you know what, we're going to honor the legends that would have been in the Ring of Honor for a long, long time. I look at it and I think about Bob Trumpy, who passed away last fall. I think about Reggie Williams, who led the Bengals in games played at linebacker, one of the most physical positions in a much more physical NFL, and was a part of some of the best teams in franchise history. Those guys deserve to be in the Ring of Honor. The best tight end in franchise history, arguably the best linebacker in franchise history who's played in the most games. Kevin Huber has since surpassed that. But guess what? He was a punter, not a linebacker in one of the NFL's most physical era. I think James Brooks is certainly someone that gets overlooked in this day and age. Why? Well, he was arguably, and still is, arguably the best running back in franchise history. And if he's not one, and it is Corey Dillon, well, then he's second. And he was a part of that Super Bowl 20 team that came up just short of winning there. So that's it. That's what I look at this, and I look at the history of the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm hoping that season ticket holders get it right. Because the Bengals, they put you in this position, and they got it wrong. One of these modern-day nominees can get in and be inducted into the Ring of Honor this season, whether it's an A.J. Green or a Geno Atkins or Andrew Whitworth. And it likely will be one of those 3 guys, all deserving these other guys. The original nominees, they deserve their due. And that's what's going to be tough. If you look at the new rules for the Bengals in the Ring of Honor, I think they got this wrong. And I haven't heard or seen anyone debate this, but that's why season ticket holders today need to get it right. And hopefully over the past couple of weeks have gotten it right. Vote, even if Andrew Whitworth is ahead of, let's say, Chris Collinsworth or James Brooks or Jim Breach or whoever on your all-time list, make him wait a year. Make A.J. Green wait a year. He's still in his 30s. You know who should be in? Bob Trumpy should be in. Reggie Williams should be in. Max Montoya should be in. These legends that would have been in a long time ago, get them in now. Doesn't mean that they were a better player. It doesn't mean you think Max is better than Geno, but he should get your vote over Geno. And when you look at the Bengals' new rules and what they implemented this offseason, adding the 5 modern-day nominees, and for lack of a better term, I'll call them that, that's one thing. Another is essentially giving fans a path to vote for those guys, because one will get in this year, potentially, and then after that, only 1 inductee per season. What does that mean? Well, that means that if A.J. Green doesn't get in this year, well, he'll be the favorite, certainly, to get in next year. If Geno doesn't get in this year, guess what? He'll probably be the favorite. The same thing goes for Andrew Whitworth, which means the Bob Trumpies of the world, the Reggie Williamses of the world. If they don't get in this year, well, they'll be waiting. Max Montoya will be waiting. I've thought about the idea that Jim Breach, will he ever get into the Bengals Ring of Honor? He leads the Bengals all-time. He's their all-time points leader. He had crucial kicks in Super Bowl 23. I misspoke and said Super Bowl 20 earlier. Super Bowl 23, the 88 team. In Super Bowl 16 as well. Like, he's a huge part of the Bengals franchise and Bengals franchise history. I don't really see a realistic path where he does get into the Ring of Honor. But if he's going to, it's going to be because fans and season ticket holders get it right with their vote. Today's the last day to vote. You've probably already voted. If you did, hopefully you voted for one of the original nominees here, the 7 original that remain, and not the 5 new guys that are all deserving. But let's be honest, they have time. Bob Trumpy, Reggie Williams, Jim Breach, James Brooks and company, all deserving of a vote. And guys, I got to be honest. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm nervous. And it's weird saying this because Gino, especially Gino and AJ, well deserving. They're going to get in. I think one gets in this year, and I'm going to have really? And I don't want to have that really feeling because they deserve it. But I just think about all the legends that are going to miss out if one of those 2 guys gets in.
I think you said it perfectly off the top, and I think we're all going to be feeling that way because this was like a missed opportunity to get those original, members still into the Ring of Honor, and especially while they're still here. And that's the part that I fear the most is we're going to see what happened with Bob Trumpy, where unfortunately he passed away before getting a chance to have his legacy honored in this way.
And the thought process of them kind of getting squeezed out with not just allowing the new nominees in this year, but shifting to one next year certainly makes it an uphill battle for a lot of these guys anyway. I hope, like you said, the season ticket holders have kind of worked along a timeline here and are going back before they do these new guys. But it really, my first thought when this popped up is how do you not vote for some of these newer guys if that is the method that the Bengals are operating with? I mean, obviously, at my age, those are the guys that I grew up watching, and some of the best players in Bengals history. Geno Atkins, AJ Green, all of these guys are great, and that's certainly not to take anything away from the older players. But when you put them next to each other, it's going to be very hard for a lot of fans to think about that and go back on a timeline when we're talking about some of the most recognizable names in Bengals history.
Yeah, that to me is what's so tough here, and you're playing catch up. And I know they're worried about not having a nominee every year. You can adjust that at some point down the line. In 2032, do it every other year if you want. And do a Legends Day where you celebrate the entire Ring of Honor, and then every other year you do a nomination. Like, you don't have to induct someone every year once you're caught up.
Yeah.
But they're not caught up. And they have multiple guys that, like Reggie Williams has had a ton of health stuff. And he's still with us, and I want him to be inducted into the Ring of Honor while he still is. Bob Trumpy should have been inducted a few years ago, if nothing else, because of his age. Because he's the best tight end in franchise history and age. And that's it. And you want to get your legends in while they're still alive and able to enjoy it. And their family can enjoy it. And I think they know that deep down, which is why I don't understand why you do this now. AJ Green caught a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow. Yeah. Like, Geno Atkins, they signed DJ Reader, just to put it in, they signed DJ Reader to pair with Geno Atkins. Like, when you say it like that, it's like, oh, well, it wasn't that long ago. And it wasn't. Andrew Whitworth, I get he hasn't played for the team in 10 years. He played against Joe Burrow in the biggest game in franchise history, arguably. So that's what's tough. Can those guys wait a year? I think they can. Can they wait 5 years? I would be fine making them wait 5 more years and getting these other guys in. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. But I hope that 2 of the original nominations get in this year, because next year I would almost guarantee that it will be one of AJ, Andrew, or Geno.
And I would assume another one of those 3 are part of the 2 this year, and that's
possibly.
Yeah. That's part of the
hoping
frustration.
Not, but yes.
Right, but I just think, realistically, they probably are, just because of how recognizable those names are. And I think a fix for that would be the same thing the Pro Football Hall of Fame does, and putting a series of years after your retirement date that you have to wait, after you're out of the league before you can get this kind of recognition. And that would just further emphasize the need to go back and work forward along a timeline. And I think my question to the Bengals at this point would be, if the worry is running out of nominees, why not go down to 1 before adding the new guys and work through this old list and spread them out if you need to? I don't love the idea, but get these original nominees in first. And if the worry was running out of those options with 2 every year, then drop it to 1, but still focus on getting those guys in first. I just don't get the rush.
Exactly. And the thing is, the Bengals make the rules here.
Right.
They can do whatever they want with this process. And it's not to say they can't also change it if they see maybe some backlash with the way this is handled, whether it's this year or next year. Because I would just hate to see us get into a situation and scenario starting next year where it's new nominee, new nominee, new nominee, and then you really have some of these original members who deserve to be in this Ring of Honor on that outside looking in.
Yeah, like Leon Hall is probably going to get in before Jim Breach. But Jim Breach probably should have gotten in like 2002. Yeah. Right? And that's what's tough. That's the tough balance of it. And you're right. They can change it. You guys could change it right now. Like right now, just like, you're right. We're going to do 2 of the original nominees, and then you can vote for one of the modern day. And if you get a certain percentage for the modern, then they get it. And do it that way. I hate it. I hate everything about this because there's going to be, for lack of a better term, some of the older guys that are on the outside looking in. It's guaranteed.
Right.
Like James Brooks, I don't think has a realistic chance at getting in this year. Like, that's insane because he's awesome.
Yeah. And the question at this point isn't even who on that list is going to be outside looking in. It's how many are going to be on the outside looking in. Yep. And I think when the original list came out before the first group of Ring of Honor nominees, obviously there's some names at the top that were easy enough to get in first, but everyone looked at the original list and said, oh, all of these guys should get in eventually. Yeah. And now we're talking about this years down the line that, well, we might be talking about these guys still waiting to get in a decade from now, which is, I'm sure if we're as frustrated about it, whether they'll admit it or not, a lot of these guys are as well.
Yeah, it's tough. And voting ends today. If you haven't voted yet, 1, reminder to vote if you're a Bengals season ticket holder. 2, make sure that you vote for the legends. And you could say James Rapien's the one that made you do it, but I would certainly much rather you do that, as the whole First Word team would, versus AJ or Gino. As weird as that sounds, because those guys are awesome. Like, I'm not trying to take away from you guys. You're just in your 30s, to be clear. That's all. It's purely an age thing. We have plenty to dive into that you missed. While You Slept is next. Jacob Tissot, Marisa Contipelli, and James Rapien with you till 11 right here on First Word.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network. Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
So he then gets back into the States, and that's when he hooks up with the Skyline family.
They knew each other growing up.
Okay, yeah.
Down in downtown, and the Lambrinides family, it wasn't corporate, it was their family and their recipes. Asked my dad if he'd be interested, and he leapt at it. He couldn't wait. He jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, well, he's chef by trade, like you said, and now this opportunity
Loved the product, loved the simplicity of the product, loved the speed, loved all of it.
That's got to make it a lot easier when you really have a specific, belief and an enjoyment of the product itself. That probably helps with the plan there.
We loved cooking and eating, and he loved that concept. He loves Skyline's concept.
Yeah. Does the actual process of it, like you said, the ease with which it's, it may be easier to get something on the plate in front of people versus other types of restaurants, that played a role for him?
The simplicity of our concept is really special.
Yeah, and that's what's really sort of helped it take root, I think, over the years, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Yes.
Are they also, I'm always interested in talking with people involved in various levels of business, whether it's a family business or something that they're looking to pass on. I mean, the idea of stewardship plays a big role. How does that look with your kids? Are they looking to move into?
The youngest is graduating from Ohio State on Mother's Day.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And he worked as an intern for a company in town and did not like office work.
Okay.
So he said, Dad, I think I want to do what you do. So he's going to be coming in at the ground level. You have to learn to crawl before you do the rest. So he will start and work with us and see where it takes him.
Well, I mean, that's how you came up, right? Being an 8-year-old wanting to follow Dad to work and
correct.
helping unload the trucks and everything.
Another rebound rundown update, this time for the Cincinnati Bearcats under first-year head coach Jared Calhoun coming over to Clifton from Utah State. And Jared Calhoun having to put together an entirely new roster this year for Cincinnati. Not a single returning player from last year's Bearcat team. Tylen Riley, the headline piece for this roster, a transfer in from Tulsa, the point guard of this group. Miles Colvin, a transfer from Wake Forest, somebody who has national championship game experience from his time at Purdue in that game against UConn. Tyler Tejada out of the CAA from Towson. Riley Allensbach from George Mason. Travion Carson, Jaden Hastings. Eric Mahaffey, the local product from Moeller. Spent his first year at Akron, now finds his way down to UC, plus 3 players who already have experience in Jared Calhoun's system from Utah State. That is a fantastic balance. You have to have a group that has played for a head coach before. Jared Calhoun has that. Much more coverage of the Bearcats on the Rebound Rundown. Stay tuned.
Happy Friday and welcome into First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11.
Always open.
Right here on the Crown. There we go.
Well, I had to. I only have a certain allotted time for the always open. I didn't see it at first, so I had to squeeze it in the back half.
You got it there, though.
I did.
Got it there. It's all right. Hey, you got to stay open. That's it. That's what we do here on First Word. And the Bengals keeping an open mind this offseason. Obviously, they made a ton of big moves. I got to be honest, I wasn't sure that they would do this, certainly in June. But June 9th, they get a fully guaranteed deal done with their second-round pick. It's the first time in franchise history that they gave a fully guaranteed contract to a second-rounder. Cassius Howe got all $6.8 million of his contract guaranteed, courtesy of Over the Cap. For the info, it's great to see that times are a-changing, and the whole second round is going to be guaranteed eventually in the NFL. And so for the Bengals just to get ahead of this, get it done, it's a beautiful thing.
Glad to see it happen. I was a little surprised when I saw this news come out, just for the fact that it's something that the team had not done before in team history. But I guess that's just been the theme of the offseason. They just continue to get outside of organizational norms, and it's been really refreshing and, really nice way that the offseason has been kind of shaping up.
Yeah, I've been critical of the Ring of Honor process, obviously. None of the other stuff. Dexter Lawrence trade, love it. Cassius Howe pick, the pick in general, love it. The fact that they got the deal done, love it. All of the free agent additions, love it. So the Ring of Honor, we could revisit that. But as far as Cassius Howe, yeah, this is a good thing because he's going to matter for this defense this season.
Absolutely. And this was one of my big concerns when they took Cassius Howe. As well. I imagined it would have to be a fully guaranteed contract, and I thought that would drag itself out all the way through the summer and maybe even into training camp. And maybe that's, a little bit of remembering what happened last year and being a little nervous about that happening again. But it's great to have this done in the second week of June, and Howe on the field already beforehand and how signed and all of that taken care of is a great place to be, and kudos to the Bengals for just continuing to put their best foot forward this offseason.
How many sacks do we think he has this year? Over, under 4.
Watched a pretty sweet TikTok edit of him last night. I might get up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah, there we go. Those edits are crazy. Cassius Howe's a problem.
Yeah.
I'll take the over, but I don't know if he's going to get it that high.
No, but
there's a lot of guys now on that.
Yeah, I think
5 would be great.
I think a lot of the conversation will be the snap count. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that edge room that'll be rotating in or out. I do think Howell's the one that could maximize the sacks on the lowest number of snaps potentially in that group.
15 sacks for Cassius Howe.
Sign me up.
Sounds great.
Wild.
Sounds great. Hey, maybe they get 7 for the $7 million essentially that they guaranteed him.
Also, sign me up.
That would be great. Yeah. That would be great for the Cincinnati Bengals. More on the Bengals coming up in a bit. The Stanley Cup rolling on in Carolina. Huge win, a dominant win over Vegas. They were up 4-1 for most of this game. They got out early. They controlled the game. And I got to be honest, guys. I'm I'm hoping this goes 7. I'm rooting for the Hurricanes, but I'm hoping this goes 7, so hopefully the Golden Knights can respond because this is a huge, huge dub for Carolina.
Canes are the second team in Stanley Cup final history to score 4 more goals in their first 5 games of a Stanley Cup. This offense is rolling, and it's Sebastian Aho, and they are just having an absolutely crazy time right now. This Hurricanes team was a favorite all the way through all the way through the Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas upset, the Avalanche in the conference finals, and looked great for the start. But Hurricanes hitting their stride right now.
Yep, they are. It is also proof if they get one more, Marisa, that offense wins championships. I need one more 4-goal. I need one more, and then we're good.
Offense wins championships. Also the worst goalie play ever.
Hey, that's all. That's all we need is one more. Come on, say it, one more.
Well, yeah, they need one. What do you mean? They need one more.
And then offense wins championships.
That's how best of 7 series.
She's getting so frustrated. She's like, no.
We're not going to have this argument today.
Carter Hart 4 more goals allowed all 5 games. He was a phenomenal goalie in the regular season, so I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Forgot how to goalie.
I guess.
You know what they say. You got to goal that goalie.
Did they say that?
I think they might. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's continue with the Brennan Sorsby, the latest. And it goes from funny and offense wins championships. It's a funny back and forth. What is going on at Texas Tech?
Yeah.
It is the weird shuffle around the Sorsby stuff and trying to justify it, but also say that he's wrong, but also justify it, and also trying to tiptoe around it with the idea of getting him on the field has been quite interesting.
Yeah, it certainly has. There's been a lot this week that have come out. Texas Tech, president of the university, the AD, the coach, released a 22-minute video yesterday explaining their stance. This was the statement from the athletic director, Kirby Hockett. And basically, just to summarize here, that the point was that Brennan Sorsby is a member of the football team. He's a student at Texas Tech University, and Texas Tech will be taking the stance to help him through anything he needs as he's battling through this addiction and getting the help that he needs with the gambling addiction. So I think the conversation here now turns to, can Texas Tech help him without having him start for their football team? And that seems to be the disconnect between a lot of people at Texas Tech. They're saying it's their job as a member of their team, a member of their student faculty right there, that they need to help him with what he needs with his addiction. But in order to do that, he has to play football for them at quarterback. And I just can't see how those two are intertwined. Get him the help he needs, go through everything in that sense. He doesn't need to play quarterback. Yeah, he hasn't earned the right to play college football next year, and he shouldn't be able to.
Are you surprised that they're going with this approach? Or is this,
yes.
It is
their only chance.
And that's I get, the logic behind it. I just wonder when they were in the room of, all right, we need to get this injunction. We need this to be past the college football season. We know there's going to be pushback. Here's our strategy. I assume there was a plan before this week to enact all this. Is this how they thought it was going to go? Because it just doesn't feel like, even if he gets on the field and they accomplish their mission, it's going to feel icky.
Yeah.
Yes.
For lack of it's going to feel, you better win. And it's going to come with pressure and scrutiny. And I like that there will be a villain, from that element. That's a fun storyline. But getting there is going to feel gross.
Well, do you also think they would be taking this approach and the Sorsby conversation would be what it is if NIL wasn't a thing and they didn't have all this money invested in him?
I certainly don't think it hurts. He also probably wouldn't be at Texas Tech if it wasn't for a $5 million NIL check. So I think a lot of that goes into it for sure. I do think there is a question that kind of gets thrown away with this whole thing because gambling's obviously such a big topic right now. Is Brendan Sorsby a good quarterback? I think there's a world where he goes out there and plays quarterback for Texas Tech this year and they aren't good and they aren't a championship contender because he was average at UC. So this whole conversation could flip again that they're fighting for all of this for a quarterback who might not even be all that. The quote that really stood out to me yesterday from the video that Texas Tech posted was AD Kirby Hockett saying, "There is no reason whatsoever to question the integrity of our athletics department. Integrity of the game is sacred, and there is nothing more important to Texas Tech."
Yeah, that is false.
Yeah, I'd say.
That is false because they're even trying this. Yeah. I'm sure there's something in that NIL deal that they could just get out of and roll. If they really wanted to.
If it's revenue sharing, absolutely. If not, that's where it gets tricky.
For sure. But whoever, put it like this. If I'm signing off on a $5 million NIL check and you get in trouble for gambling on the game, guess what? You should be able to get. There should be some clause in that
Yeah.
deal that gets you out of it.
Yeah.
And so Texas Tech potentially selling their soul here for Brendan Sorsby. We'll see if it pays off. We'll see what happens there. The World Cup, well, it started on Thursday night. A couple of results for you as South Korea handing a 2-1 loss to the Czech Republic, or 2-1 victory over the Czech Republic, and Mexico a 2-0 win over South Africa. Jeff Cameron going to join us at 9. Big deal there to preview tonight's USA matchup. But yeah, a couple of games in the books already.
Pretty great start to the World Cup. I mean, South Korea getting its first World Cup opening match since 2010, but Mexico getting the first win of the World Cup, also scored the first goal of the tournament, and that game played in front of over 80,000 fans down in Mexico City. So a phenomenal turnout, and pretty exciting start for how the World Cup is going to get rolling off. Excited to see the U.S. take the pitch this evening over in Los Angeles, and really excited to have Jeff Cameron join us later in the show to give us a little bit of preview.
3 red cards in that Mexico game was pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting that to have a team down a man already or that early in the World Cup, but a great game in that stadium. Looked unbelievable, the atmosphere in Mexico. So hoping that can translate to the U.S.'s games here. The host country is already putting on a good show.
Yep. We'll love it. We will have you covered, like Marisa said, Jeff Cameron today at 9 right here on First Word. Did you see this Chiefs deal? Patrick Mahomes, at making an average annual value of $64 million per year, becomes the NFL's first $500 million player. You a player? Yeah, he's a player, and he's making a heck of a lot of money here. And I'm not shocked that he reworked his deal. He famously signed that 10-year contract that gave the Chiefs all sorts of flexibility, and they've restructured that a bunch. Now adding a couple of years onto his deal, I think this is setting a precedent. Joe Burrow, if he balls out this year, this is going to be a discussion next offseason.
Certainly feels like it every year. It's like which quarterback can reset the market and top the next one. It's at one point we're probably going to get into the 6, 7, 8 numbers. It's just absolutely insane how high these quarterback contracts are getting.
Absolutely, and Mahomes, one of the most unique contracts in football, just adding those years on the end, always bumping him up to where he deserves to be in the pantheon of quarterback contracts at that point. And thought it was interesting to see there's 2 $60 million quarterbacks now in the NFL. 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champ Patrick Mahomes, and 1-time playoff game winner Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's right. Look at you. Now you're on my side with the Dak Prescott stuff.
I just thought it was a funny stat.
It's a very funny stat. And all of the top quarterbacks are going to make 60 plus.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow will make 60 plus on his next deal. I'm sure it'll be 65 or more. And if he plays the way he should, the Bengals should try to get ahead of that and do that a year from now, or less than a year from now, 10 months from now. Because the farther you get ahead on these big deals, the quarterback market's not going to go down.
Nope.
No.
It will continue to rise. We'll see a $70 million quarterback, a $75 million. It'll just keep going up and up and up. And hopefully the Bengals know that. Hopefully he puts himself in position to earn another major payday with the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, this is your chance. This is your chance. St. X Moeller State Championship on the line. They advance. They play off in the Division I State Championship game. Let's talk that baseball.
Doesn't get much better than this for Cincinnati, right? St. X and Moeller end up on opposite sides of the bracket, make it all the way through to the state championship. They'll face off tonight. St. X first regional win in over 20 years to get there, and then winning in the Final Four over Olentangy Orange. Shutout. 5-run win for the Bombers, and then Moeller with a great comeback win in their Final Four game as well. Matt Ponitowski pitched for Moeller last night. He's the Kentucky commit, looking to be drafted to the MLB draft later this summer. Probably won't pitch tonight, but good thing he hits about 400 as well. So St. X will have their work cut out for him, but this will be a great game. One of the best rivalries in the state, maybe one of the best high school rivalries in the country. Really excited to see it in the state championship.
I love it because as someone who's neutral, I don't have a dog in the fight between Moeller and X. Can't lose.
I was rooting for Moeller just as hard as I was rooting for X yesterday.
Yeah.
I wanted this state championship really bad.
Yeah, this is legendary.
Yeah.
Like, this is, in obviously, Jacob went to St. X, so he's rooting for X. A lot of you are watching probably went to Moeller, have someone that went to Moeller or X or whatever, and so you have dogs in the fight. Great. I just love that we're talking about 2 schools within 8 miles of each other now playing for a state title.
Yeah, in Akron. Like, just move it down here if it's going to be 2 Cincinnati schools. Don't make them make the trip.
GABP.
Oh,
That would be
awesome. would probably be better baseball than is going to be
I
played
would
there
go.
this weekend.
If it was at GABP, I would go.
For
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Absolutely. And we'll preview Reds Diamondbacks, but yeah, like, which game would I care about more? Ex-Muller state title? Yeah, I mean, that's...
Ex-Elder at Paycor delivered, so, I mean, I imagine the crowd would be pretty crazy at Great American.
Yeah, I think so. So good luck to both teams. Ex-Muller, I can't root for a tie, but I certainly hope... I hope it's like 6-5.
Oh, I hope it's just a great
multiple
game.
runners on, back and forth. That's what I don't want it to be like 8-0.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
pain.
Couldn't agree more.
Straight pain. Plenty to dive into. We have a Reds preview to get to coming up. Jeff Cameron at 9 and some Bengals conversation coming your way on a fired up Friday edition of First Word.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
You were not getting college. You went to school for drama.
Yes.
Which is, let me tell you what. If any creatives out there who are not actively creating, it makes you go crazy. And I have witnessed firsthand a creative who didn't professionally create and had to take care of so many damn kids and husbands along the way, and it drove you crazy for so long. Now, as a grown woman at this point and been in my career as long as I have so much perspective on your life and how you were in all of your 30s and your 40s, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you created in your home. You made our homes were beautiful, but I feel like, oh my God, because when I don't create, I go nuts. Like, I go absolutely nuts.
I was busy.
Very well.
Obviously. I was busy with my children. And
Well, I'll say this. You had 4 kids by the time you were 28. We had a great life.
we did.
Yeah, we had a great life. We weren't the richest, we weren't the smartest, we weren't the anythingist ever. But we had a blast. We had a house, we had a dog, we had a pool, we went to school, we had a bunch of friends.
Thank God I had a rich mother. That helps a lot.
Man, I wonder what that's like. God.
You never know.
I won't. Not at all. Well, so now if you could give me any advice at 40 years old, single girl, what would you say?
Get pregnant. Immediately.
Well, there we go. If anyone's got some
All
strong
official
DNA.
in Seven Nation. Just make sure the guy is smart and handsome.
Okay. True.
Who has more yards, Mitch Tinsley or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Odell.
This year?
I think so.
Mitch Tinsley. I'll bet. What do you want to bet? Lunch.
Sure.
Lunch.
Works.
Clip it, Gabe. Lunch. There's no way Odell. And I'm a receiver guy. It's over.
I don't think he's going to be good.
It's over. Mitch Tinsley's good.
Yeah.
Mitch Tinsley probably starts for New York.
I don't disagree, but he doesn't start for the Bengals. And
doubt.
Odell might start for the Giants.
Yeah. No, he won't.
What, you been Darius Slayton
Start?
fan?
Yes. Way better than Odell.
Yeah.
Odell hasn't played in a meaningful game.
Jalen Hyatt?
Since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
I did see some
Against the Bengals.
yeah, some
Just to be
Dolphins
clear.
jerseys on the graphics yesterday.
He played for the Dolphins,
Yeah.
but he didn't play. Chad Johnson had a bigger impact for the Dolphins than Odell.
No, you're right. I'm certainly not expecting Odell
My
to be a
goodness.
good receiver this year, but I do think he'll be on the field. A
I
decent
can't
amount.
believe I became the anti-wide receiver guy there. But yeah, give me Mitch Tinsley all day long. Let's keep it rolling here on First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. In the Bengals, well, they've added a ton of players this offseason to their roster, including Kyle Duggar, who went under the radar. He's definitely flying under the radar, but he's someone that the Bengals are banking on behind Brian Cook, behind Jordan Battle. We heard from Cook and Battle yesterday. Those videos will be posted on the First Word YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button there. But as far as Kyle Duggar is concerned, an under-the-radar signing, someone we're going to hear from in just a minute. But I think about how he fits, and I think he gives them another option. We've talked about linebacker a ton and the need for another option. They have another option at safety with Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, and I don't think you can have enough depth in that room, especially the way the safety play has been the last few years. I mean, obviously we're expecting big things out of Brian Cook and hoping Jordan Battle kind of gets back to the Jordan Battle we saw his rookie season. But I loved the Kyle Duggar signing. I don't think it hurts the Bengals in any way, shape, or form. I think the biggest question I have with it is how much playing time is he going to have? How early are we going to see him? And if there's going to be special packages where he might be in.
I think his versatility is the thing I'm most excited for. Obviously, the depth in the safety room is great, but last year, 270 snaps in the box as well, with over 150 designated as linebacker. That's incredible versatility. And Kyle Duggar, someone I really wanted the Bengals to sign. If it was last year or 2 years ago when he was a free agent last year, I really wanted him to be a Bengal, and now he is. A little later than I would have liked, but certainly will be a great addition this year. I can't believe people aren't talking about this as much. Obviously, the names that have rolled in, the Maffes, the Cooks, the Dexter Lawrences, take the cake, but I think Kyle Duggar is going to be a huge piece to this defense this year.
Any other offseason, I feel like we would be talking about him more. It's just the Bengals offseason has been so uncharacteristic, and it's guys like Dexter Lawrence, Brian Cook, Boye Mafe, Jonathan Allen, who just kind of overshadowed all the other signings and moves.
Caleb Downs, who?
Okay, we don't need that.
No, not that far. Did I just go too far? I just went a little too far. Let's hear from Kyle Duggar. Our guy Mike Petraglia was in the Bengals locker room earlier this week and talked with the Bengals safety.
Experience is there. I'm gonna use it as much as I can, and it's gonna help me as much as it can. But it's definitely both. It's a new defense. Got to be here, got to learn, and the terminology and things that are different. So I got to be locked into that primarily.
Why did you feel like Cincinnati was a good fit for you, Carr?
Just the defense. It's a young defense. The scheme is familiar, and I was able to get experience with the last two defenses with a lot of things they do here. So I just felt like it was a good place, and came in the locker room, looked around, and I knew something. So, yeah.
Are there any similarities to the systems you've been in?
All of them, all four of them, really. So it's a blessing for sure to be able to have carry over from every defense I've been in, from my first year in New England to my last year in New England to Pittsburgh. So
yeah. I mean, because you evolved under, and you saw all sorts of stuff in New England, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the end of Belichick, right?
Yeah.
And the beginning of and I guess you were in the
beginning of Vrabel, yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of a unique system in itself, isn't it?
For sure. It was a very different defense with Vrabel, coming from Bill and Mayo, and it was helpful, especially now because they do a lot of the same things, a lot of similar things that they did with Vrabel here, and then even some of the things that they did before Vrabel with Belichick. So it was all helpful.
Feels like the defensive additions are a group of pros. You and Dexter and Boye Mafe, et cetera, Jonathan Allen. How do you feel about the group that they brought in as a whole?
The first day I came up here, I knew when we had a meeting a couple months ago that it was a really good group. The question they were asking, I knew that these guys were ready to win. They wanted to win, and they know what it takes to win. You can see the experience and what they're asking, how they're carrying themselves. And everybody was just kind of, everybody was hungry. It was like a quiet hunger amongst the group when we were being introduced and things like that. So I was excited to be a part of it for sure.
What is the key to a fresh start for someone like you, somebody who's been used to winning programs and whatnot, to come into a place? Does it feel like you've got something to prove on a team that could go a long, long ways? Absolutely.
It's a new opportunity, and I got to take it as that. These opportunities don't come often to everybody. It can be a short career for some guys, and so I'm thankful to be here have a new opportunity to start fresh.
What's your view?
Have you been in the building at the same time as Flacco? And have you joked about the pick six?
Nah, I don't think I've seen him yet, and yeah, I obviously can't talk to him.
Will you joke about it?
Nah, I'm gonna focus on learning what I gotta learn for now, and we'll get to that later.
Yep, he had a pick six against the Bengals last year, was a member of the Steelers, and there you see it. 59 tackles, 2 for a loss, 5 passes defense, 2 forced turnovers, including that pick six on Joe Flacco.
Yeah, pick six against the Bengals is the best way to get signed by the Bengals. So great that Duggar's here now, and I think he'll be a big-time difference maker for this defense. I mean, we talked about needing a safety and needing a linebacker coming into this offseason, and signed a guy for relatively cheap that'll be able to contribute at both positions, which I think is going to be a massive, massive addition.
You look at the numbers last year from just the Bengals safety room, when it wasn't Jordan Battle or Geno Stone on the field, Tyson Anderson, Dejon Anthony, P.J. Jules combined for about 100 snaps. Where do you kind of put that, counter, for Kyle Duggar? I imagine significantly higher. He's going to be on the field for more than that.
Yes, and I wonder how much they try to use him in the box to help make up at linebacker. I think that's part of it. In coverage as well from that linebacker spot, that pseudo linebacker spot. But they didn't trust Tyson Anderson. Otherwise, Geno Stone, who keeps missing tackles as a member of the Bills, every time we do a show. From 7 to 11, we're always open. He's always missing tackles. I don't know how they didn't bench Geno for Tyson. And it's because they didn't trust Tyson on defense. And I don't know why. I don't know what he did in practice to not earn their trust, because why would you trust Geno Stone? But they did not. Even if you don't think Duggar's going to play a ton on paper, if Jordan Battle gets hurt, if he's nicked up, if he struggles, I think they're going to be comfortable playing Kyle Duggar on defense because he's played a ton of snaps on defense.
And that's the thing with the names you just listed there for the other Bengals options as that third safety. None of them you feel as confident in as Kyle Duggar out there if they have to take significant snaps. And I think that's the biggest thing is just giving an option if something does go wrong as much as it is having a Swiss Army knife that you can plug in there in different sets or anything along those lines.
Yeah, I have high expectations for Kyle Duggar. I think he can matter. I wouldn't rule out him starting at some point this year.
Ooh.
Him and Cook?
Well, yeah.
As the safety duo? I just mean as the deep safety duo.
Well, what if Jordan struggles?
Yeah.
Like, right.
How long's that leash?
Mm-hmm.
If he comes in and plays like he did against the Bears week 1 and gives up the game-winning broken-up tackle, whatever, gets a tight end over the middle, that just make the tackle.
Right.
Like, just ridiculous. And it wasn't just him. It was Geno. I mean, there were 3 players in the area. It should have happened. But that was the defense last year. But if Battle struggles some, Kyle should be a reliable, safe option. And I don't know if he can do anything to win that job in camp. Like, unless Battle's just overweight or not working out or what, and I assume he will. Mm-hmm. But I do think that, like, from a stability standpoint, if it goes wrong in that safety room, they can go to that route. And maybe they feel that way about Oren Burks. Maybe that's the linebacker option, break glass in case of emergency, where it's a reliable 3, but if he needs to start, he can. But I do think that Duggar is someone that they'll believe in enough to turn to if they need him, and he gives them 3 safeties that they trust on defense.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and you just love the experience he has with it, even a little bit of playoff experience, in his previous stops as well. I wonder how long, if you mentioned if Battle does start to struggle, how long that leash would be. I would hope it would be a couple of games. I would hate to see it be, a knee-jerk reaction after 1 or 2 weeks, and then you immediately switch to Kyle Duggar, just because I know what they need out of Jordan Battle this season for, the back end of the defense to be successful.
Yeah, there's certainly been bumps in the road for Battle over the last couple of years, but the flashes have been there to be a very legitimate safety in this league and a key part of this Bengals defense. So I certainly hope that he gets back to more consistency on that level, and maybe those flashes become more of the expectation for Jordan this year, and he can really take a step in that safety room with Cook next to him. But either way, I do think Kyle Duggar is going to play a lot and be a big-time difference maker in that safety room, even if it doesn't necessarily come on the field. I think he can do a lot of the same things we talked about Brian Cook doing in that room with Jordan Battle and with the other young guys guys on that defense. He's won. He's played in significant roles with highly respected coaches. He mentioned Belichick and Vrabel right there from his time in New England. Obviously, with Tomlin last year in Pittsburgh, can bring a lot of the stuff he's learned from those defenses and the success he's had in the league over here, as well as the Bengals try to mesh this whole new unit together. So I really love the Kyle Duggar addition, really regardless of what the counting numbers are on paper at the end of this year.
Yeah, it's a sneaky one that could end up paying off, or he could also just be a third option.
And if he never plays because everyone's healthy and playing great, it's still a great signing because something could have went wrong.
For sure. And it's one of those low-risk, potentially medium to high reward signings that the Bengals made this offseason. It's gone under the radar, but it certainly could matter. Up next, we'll dive into our poll question of the day, just getting started on a Friday here on First Word.
It's fine. We're on our way to the Bonbonnery. I'm excited. I'm from Cincinnati, and the Bonbonnery has been here forever, you know, legendary. Today, we're gonna bake cookies and cakes and stuff and get a behind-the-scenes tour. And it's gonna be really fun and dynamic. And I love baking. I don't really like cooking as much. Cooking meat kind of wigs me out, but I really like baking. Hi, my name is Natalie Jones, and today we're at the Bonbonnery here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Technically in O'Briensville Square. It is a bakery, a deli. It has a nice little cafe in it and a tea room. So let's go see everything about it today. Today I'm gonna make cookies and some cakes and just see exactly how it all works. Okay, so Pat, you're involved. What is your role here?
I run our wholesale department.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And Pat and I know each other from high school? High school, right?
Yeah, the neighborhood.
Cincinnati's
Mount Lookout,
small.
Hyde Park.
Cincinnati's small. We all know each other.
Yep.
And it is your aunt who?
Yeah, I call her an aunt. She's a cousin. Mary Pat Pace and Sharon
Gotcha.
Butler are the two owners.
Well, that's fantastic. Let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
You know, I did work in the food industry for a very long time. My parents had a restaurant, and then before that I worked like in 25 different restaurants because I just kept getting promotions. Hi, great to see you. Great, how are you? Charlie, look how beautiful these things are. Oh, it's wild. I'm gonna try to make them just as pretty. We're getting the official behind the scenes tour. Look at these ladies. Ooh. Good morning,
So yeah,
hello.
this is our decorating team. Here's the cake
Oh my
team.
gosh. Wow, how many do you make at one time?
Right now, well, this is usually about half what we do, but this is about 60 as a 6-inch and about 20 of the 9-inch.
Wow.
Everything's made fresh, and we don't really have like a huge factory or commissary.
Hi, ladies. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, no, like, funny story. Every Friday, Cody Ford tries Scott Peters with some type of, like, jiu-jitsu wrestling move. And Cody's never done jiu-jitsu or wrestling. And so the first time he did it, I mean, it took Cody probably, I'm going to say 9-10 weeks into the season to build up the courage to do this. And so every Friday he would say, he'd be like, man, you know, I'm going to get Scott, I'm going to get Scott. And we think he was joking. So like I said, it's week 9 or week 10, whoever we're playing. And so we're in Friday, Scott's like putting a little zen in or something and staring. And Cody comes behind him and tries to like straight up put him in like a chokehold. And I never seen someone like, I mean, it was like out of a movie. Like he flipped Cody on his back, put him in like something. I mean it was, it was ridiculous. Like, that's hilarious. Yeah, I just would recommend, man, if you live in the city of Cincinnati, don't mess with Scott Peters. So, yeah.
Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Tissot and softball star Marisa Contipelli. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. What? That's praise.
Athletes at the desk.
I appreciate the
Yes.
compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
Are you an athlete?
No, you two are the athletes.
St. X star.
Long time
Lined
ago.
up against Brian Parker.
Star.
Star what?
Star, baby. Practice squad star.
That is true.
Star.
Two-time practice squad captain.
Wait, hold on. For real?
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing?
Practice
Oh my God,
Yeah,
kidding.
one of the practice guys gets to be a captain for the games at X. Yeah, won MVP twice. It's pretty cool.
Wait, you won MVP of practice squad?
Yeah, they do it every week. You get to be a captain.
Oh, every week.
Okay.
It's a weekly thing.
Yeah.
It's a weekly thing to
You
keep
get
the
the
practice players engaged.
The two captains
That's
and then
smart.
a defense and an offense every week.
Okay,
Gotcha.
interesting. Nice. Well,
Did you get a seat?
congratulations.
Yeah, it's great.
You get a sticker?
No. T-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Yeah.
You still have it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please bring that in.
Does it fit?
Probably.
probably too
I was
big.
a lot bigger then, so
probably
if
too big.
anything, it's big.
Yeah, it's too big. Okay, so it's your night shirt. That's what he wears at night.
Wait, what's your best sport?
It was.
Probably like all of them.
What's your worst sport?
It was baseball. I haven't played
Okay.
baseball in a long time, but I was good at baseball. So.
We'll have to see if maybe you can sub for the softball team. Paul Frischner was a sub for us this week. He played phenomenal. He played great.
He did tell me
Director Gabe is on deck.
he took a bad route to a fly ball, Paul told
He
me.
did. I wasn't going to say
Oh,
that, but I'm glad
really?
he was honest
He
about
told
it.
me, so
Did
I
he
wanted
catch
to.
it?
No. Thus the bad route.
See, some of us can take a bad route and still get there. If you were like Jacob Tissot, you'd still get there. That's some of us. Some of us would do that. Let's dive into today's poll question. Gabe was literally like, hey, we only have 5 minutes. Didn't want to talk about his softball skills. Pressure's on, Gabe. You better deliver and take the right routes. Because otherwise, Adam Baum's going to want to play as well. And everybody's going to, the whole First Word crew
gonna rotate through.
is going to just take over Marissa's softball. We would lose a lot.
Yeah.
She plays like competitive softball. Like,
We'd have the best bullpen catcher in the state.
yeah.
I think we could field a pretty good team. What about, are the Reds going to field a good team this weekend at GABP?
Yeah, the Reds have lost 4 straight series. Will they snap their streak this weekend against the Diamondbacks at GABP? Now, it is worth noting, Marissa's going to be at all 3 games. So let's start there.
Sweep confirmed.
68.3% say no, the streak continues. 31.7% say yes, they'll get it done. We're going to see if Marissa's good luck. There's 1. 2, not a lot of confidence in the Cincinnati Reds on just winning a series at home when you have some good pitchers on the mound.
Yeah, it sets up well for the Reds this weekend to at least have a shot. Marissa's, good luck will help, but I will also be there on Friday and Sunday, so we'll see what happens on that front.
Series
but
win confirmed.
it's an exciting weekend because I think it's a huge tipping point for this Reds team. You have to start winning games at some point, or at least putting a product out there that there's a belief can get better over time, and I think that's the big thing this weekend. Obviously, the Reds need to start winning games, need to start winning series. But they also need to start giving you something out there that you can believe in. So I think there's a lot of steps the players can take this weekend, and the bar's pretty low right now. So improvement certainly can be expected over this weekend, I think.
I'm going in with the expectation that they are going to win the series. I've been burned on that in the past because I've been pretty high on them taking a couple of the recent series. But they're going against an Arizona team where it is very possible for them. The one thing that it's like one of those like weird stats that I don't love is we know how the Reds have been against teams that have been coming in and have been struggling a little bit. Well, this Diamondbacks team has done exactly that. They've dropped each of their last 3, 5 of their last 6. So this is a struggling team that is going to be coming to Cincinnati this weekend. So that's my one thing I look at. I'm like, on paper, I feel like the Reds should beat this Diamondbacks team, but we know how other teams have fared when they've struggled going against the Reds.
And that's the frustrating part about the Reds through the stretch, at least, is so many of these series they've lost since the calendar flipped to May have been series we sat at this desk or in the office and said they should be able to win, and they should be able to separate themselves from that group. But I do think at some point, if they keep losing these series, we're going to have to talk about which group of teams in the MLB they fall into. But if they can win this weekend, you get closer to that wild card group.
Yeah, they just need it. I think they need it for them as much as anything.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we talked about, and a lot of these videos, if you miss them, are on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to it. But for me, they need to win a couple games so they believe. And deep down, I think they're like, when the bullpen has to go out there. Yeah. Just like we would with the Bengals defense. It's very similar to the Bengals defense over the past couple of years. Game on the line. How confident were you that they were going to get a stop? Even if they did, you weren't confident. And it's the same thing here. Like if they're up 5-4 tonight, and going into the 8th, you going to be confident? Or are you going to be like, we'll see if they can get it done? Like, I'm not saying you're going to just automatically chalk it up to a loss, but you're going to be on edge. You're going to be uneasy because that's what's gone on. That's what's happened in recent weeks. And if that's happening with us, that is going to happen in the dugout, in the clubhouse. That doubt, worry, concern, anxiety, that's all there right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. You know, obviously the fans need something to grasp onto to have an enjoyable summer here and root for a playoff push. But there has to be a split happening in this locker room or in this dugout as well. I mean, we saw Chase Burns' reaction when Brock Burke got the double play after Chase Burns' start. And obviously that's great energy and you're excited that your team wins. But I also feel like it's a level of relief that they were able to get out of that and give this team a chance to win. So a huge series this weekend against the struggling Diamondbacks team. Hopefully they put their best foot forward.
We will continue the Reds conversation. It's time to play Buy or Sell next on First Word.
And today we are at Laurie's Roadhouse in Westchester, Cincinnati, Ohio. We're about to go country line dancing. And I'm here with Erica. She is the resident country line dancing teacher. And she has done it every Tuesday since 21?
Unless I'm at the beach.
Unless she's at the beach, okay. Now Laurie's Roadhouse has been here since 2021, right?
October 2021. Well, I tell folks the rules for line dancing. You have to be able to count to 8.
Okay, cool.
It's helpful if you know your right from your left.
Okay.
You have to smile and have fun.
Hey.
And encourage your neighbor.
Oh, you're doing great, girl. Good job. All right, girl, here we go.
I want to welcome you all to Cincinnati line dancing. How many new friends do we have? New friends, new friends. Not proud. Here we go. So we want our new friends to feel really welcome. So tonight they're going to learn 3 dances in the beginning class from 7 to 8. I'm going to teach the dances step by step with a lot of repetition. Makes it easy to learn. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Nice. Did you nail it?
Nailed it!
That's because we haven't turned yet. It's back 3, 4. Okay, you just did a rocking chair. Now step forward on your right, left.
Dude, you know what?
Now
This
you know
is
the
easy.
drill. You're going to count that.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Oop, okay.
That didn't sound very confident. So let's do it 2 more times.
Oh, perfect.
Looking good.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, right.
Turn again.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Good job, dancers. Yay. So in the early 90s, I danced 6 nights a week for 6, 7, 8 years. And then when all the bars closed, then I kept dancing. I danced at church. I danced at community centers, recreation centers. Right now I have like 9 or 10 classes a week, but this is by far the funnest place ever.
There's only one I can do. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Now, this year's World Cup does feature 48 teams. It's the largest the tournament has ever featured and does include Messi and the defending champions, Argentina, along with some of the powerhouse names like France, Brazil, and England. Now, the format for this year's tournament is going to look like this. The 48 teams will be divided into 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 teams and the best third-place finishers advancing to the newly introduced round of 32. Now, as for the United States, they are co-hosting the tournament for the first time since 1994, as aspirations are very high for this U.S. squad. Let's take a look, though, at how they can advance through group play. They will be in Group D. Friday, June 12th, the U.S. will kick off their tournament against Paraguay. That is at 9 p.m. Eastern from Los Angeles. They will then head up to Seattle on June 19th to take on Australia, and then we'll be back in LA on June 25th.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right
here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Hit him with the hezzy here on First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, live right here on The Crown. You can watch us on RESN or on our YouTube channel, also live on X and Facebook at First Word Cincy. And there you go. This is how you get First Word every single day. This is how you get The Crown every single day. And if you miss a show, well, check us out on Spotify, Apple. You can listen live on the go on Mixlr and check out all of our shows, including The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley live every weekday, noon to 1. Nat tries that. And the Rebound Rundown. You got to run down that rebound with Paul Fritchner every day.
That's right. You sure do.
You got to put that in your rundown and rebound it. That's what you're supposed to say. You didn't. That's your go-to line. You say that more than anything.
Put that in your lunch and work it.
You say that one too. By the way, Jack Crumley's been on a roll.
I mean, what a guy.
Like it. The opposite of the Reds. So the Reds bullpen has been all full. Jack Crumley's, he's going up and they're going down. It's just
ships passing in the night.
That's what it is, baby. He's been crushing the transmission.
There's a disturbance in the force, and hopefully it's a Great American Ballpark this weekend and the Reds can turn it around.
I sure hope so.
That is called a transition.
We
and
should
it's
ask
time
Jack if he's going to any games this weekend.
to play buy or sell.
I wonder.
Buy or sell that Jack is going to games this weekend.
I'm going to sell. Sell?
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
It's probably fair. I know Jacob Tissot's going to multiple. Marisa Contipelli's going to all three. I'm actually, there's a non-zero chance that I'll be at one of them. But
Is that a 1% chance?
It's breaking news to the desk here. Let's play a little buy or sell Reds edition as they're 32-35 on the season. Buy or sell that the Reds are still realistic playoff contenders.
Once again.
Here we go.
Here we are.
You guys, they're 32-35. Sure, they're 32-35.
Yes.
They have the worst bullpen in baseball.
Yes.
They've won 12 games since May 1st.
Sure have.
Playoff contenders?
Absolutely.
It's June 12th.
Three games out of the wild
card. We're not talking about winning the division. We're talking about making the playoffs.
Playoff contenders.
Yes.
Yes, I absolutely think
What
they're
about
playoff
the past 7 weeks now shows you that?
Well, I don't think playoff contenders necessarily means you make the playoffs. I think if the Reds are, a handful of games outside of contention, we're
That's
talking
not
about
contention.
scoreboard watching, you're absolutely in contention.
No. Right now, they're not truly in playoff contention.
3 games out of the wild card, you are absolutely currently in playoff contention.
No.
I disagree. Yeah,
No.
fundamentally disagree.
They've been one of the worst teams in baseball for the majority of the season.
For sure.
That's the reality of the situation.
And they're 3 games out of the wild card.
Sure. So pretending that, they're playoff contenders today. Maybe they will be in August. Maybe they'll put themselves in that position. They're awful right now. They're
Absolutely.
awful. They're from manager on down. Tito, he could be better. The bullpen, the worst in baseball. Hitting, I keep sipping on the hopium that is Matt McClain. Eugenio Suarez is stuck wherever he is because outside of the home run the other day, he had a double and a home run. Maybe he turns it around this weekend against his former team. We'll see. But there's just Ellie's hurt. Hunter's hurt. Chase Burns can only pitch every 5th day. You can't pitch him 2 out of 5 days or 3 out of 5 days. If so, maybe they would be playoff contenders. There's just so many flaws, guys. Like, I know they're in it, standings-wise, they're not 13 back in the wild card. Fine. But nothing about this team says playoff contenders right now.
No, the current version certainly isn't. But when you're 3 games out and you've played the worst baseball in the league for the last month and a half, I think that does give big picture a reason for a little bit of optimism. It can't be this bad the whole time, and there's still 3 games out of the wild card. Statistically, it's really hard to be this bad for a super long stretch, and I think that goes back to what I was saying yesterday. Is I think the bullpen is outside of the lineup and the rotation here, and that's why the Reds need to go make an addition to that bullpen, because I think the other 2 are good enough to not just be in contention, but legitimately be talking about taking not just the 3rd wild card spot, but the 2nd or even potentially the 1st. And I think that's why when we're waiting for health, the Reds need to go out and add to this bullpen to give them a chance, because when Hunter and Ellie get back and you add some pieces, around this lineup and everyone's healthy playing where they're supposed to be playing, this team can win games and can make the playoffs. So I think that's where my optimism comes from, is how bad it's been to still be less than a handful out of the wild card.
And that's where I lie too. You're without Ellie. You're without Pagan. You're without Pierce Johnson. You're without Hunter Green. Without Grant Ashcraft. Those are 5 pretty big pieces to this Reds team, and you're still only 3 games out of a wild card spot. For as rough as this go has been in May and to start June, we can't forget what they looked like in April. they looked pretty darn good in April. And to your point, I don't see this trend continuing for the duration of the season. It might be a little bit of a roller coaster, but I absolutely believe that they will stay in contention.
When's Pagan coming back?
It's a great question.
All right. We think Ellie, he's getting scanned today, could come back soonish. I think they're going to take it really slow. He wants to play tonight. Spoiler, I'll break the news.
Tino essentially said he could.
Ellie De La Cruz wants to play. Well, sure, could is way different.
He said he
than
could play, but couldn't play safely. That was the quote.
Yeah. Well, but can he play safety?
Right.
Safely.
Yeah.
He didn't say couldn't.
What's the line for safely where you're comfortable putting him out there?
Correct. And it's a hamstring, so there's no way it's tonight for the Reds. Like, I'd be stunned if they did that.
No.
Unless they feel like, hey, we have to. So that's it. So fine, Ellie comes back, but Graham Ashcraft is gone. He's going to be gone for a long time. And so there's one. Hunter Green, a month. Hopefully a little less, but probably a month away. It's tough for me to say, all right, well, once these healthy guys get back, they're going to go on their April roll. Maybe. I'm not saying there isn't a path to the playoffs, to be clear. I'm not saying season's over. But to me, a playoff contender is a team that you, like, if they're up 5-3 tonight, I'm not going to trust it. I also wouldn't be shocked if they give up 5 runs in the first, because that's what they've done. Like, they've gotten behind. Their lineup has struggled at times. They've just found ways to lose games. That, to me, doesn't scream playoffs. Now, with the way the format is, can they find a way to sneak into the wild card and put themselves in position to be in position? To know somebody, to know somebody, to know somebody that makes the playoffs? Yes, they could do that.
And that's my thing, is I just want the Reds to be in business. And if they can string together a couple series wins here, then they can get to that position. And I think, the thing I keep coming back to is, what do you think that record is in that third wild card spot, right? Because I never was in the camp that this Reds team was good enough to win the Central. I was never in the camp that this Reds team was good enough to push 90 wins this season. I thought all of that was a little bit crazy when looking at this roster going into the season. But I always had that second wild card spot circled. The Reds got in the third one last year, had to go to LA and play the Dodgers, get that second wild card spot this year. I don't think that team is going to have more than 87, 88 wins, which means the third team will have around 85 probably. I think the Reds can absolutely be in that 85 win range and sneak into the playoffs.
Still.
Yeah.
You think they can win 53 more games this season?
I think they'll finish above 500, so that's
you still
3
think
more
that?
games. Yeah.
I do too.
I'm selling that, right? They just aren't playing. They're not even close to that right now.
Correct.
It's been so bad. And the schedule's not great.
No, and that would be the thing. That would be the thing.
The schedule's not great either, guys. You can't be losing series to the Royals.
And that's
grammar police be darned, all right?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, that's been our conversation as they've dropped some of these series inexplicably, is that it's going to get harder. So you have to win these series when it matters. Obviously, Arizona this weekend, and then the Mets, who was the last series the Reds won was against the Mets. But after that, you have the Yankees, the Brewers, the Pirates, the Brewers again, Baltimore, Philly, and Chicago to wrap up the first half. All of those, with the exception of the Orioles, who are a little bit head-scratching right now, are playoff teams. But those rosters are incredibly talented. And then you flip to the second half, and it's arguably the hardest month of Reds baseball that I've ever seen when you get down to September to end the year. So this team's going to have to build up some significant, cushion over these next couple months before they get to September, because Milwaukee, LA is a brutal 12-game stretch. So hopefully they can start winning some of these series. I do think it could get late early for this team with the way September is set up, but I'm not giving up yet. I think there's enough pieces on this Reds team that they can stay afloat and stay in contention. I think my definition for playoff contention is within a handful of games at the end of the season. If they're going into that last 2 series with a chance to make it, then I think they've accomplished this question of being a playoff contender.
Yeah, we will certainly see. Let's continue with buy or sell. This time, buy or sell that the Reds will make a trade within the next 2 weeks. It's June 12th, so by June 26th, are they making a move?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, what is going on?
So this is the only way I could have bought the first one. So I'm going to need them to make a move within the next 2 weeks.
They have to. They need the help.
You just said it. Pagan and Ellie and Ashcraft and Green.
Yeah, highlighting how many guys have been out and they're still only 3 games back in the wild card. Like you said, Ashcraft isn't coming back anytime soon.
I know.
We don't know when Pagan is coming back.
Yep.
They need additional help in that bullpen, because right now I don't think it's coming from Louisville.
No, and Julian Aguilar had a good start last night. 5 innings, only 1 run allowed, 5 Ks. So there's maybe some hope that he could join that bullpen soon, but not a ton of help coming for that bullpen unless it is an outside hire. So the Reds are going to have to make some calls and get it done, or they could be out of contention sooner rather than later. So that's what I think it'll come from. I don't think it's going to be a Chapman or a real big name difference maker that they can go get right now. I think it's quite literally a usable arm that you can trust in the bullpen, that you're not flying Chase Petty, your number top 5 prospect, starting pitcher across the country to try to close a game.
Chase Petty isn't walking through that door.
I hope not, because he's supposed to be a starter in this organization, not closing a game you need to win. So I really hope that the Reds make an addition, because I feel like at this point, with everything the hand they've been dealt this year, it's like borderline disrespectful to the guys that are good here to not make addition to this bullpen, because they will drown without one.
What would your guys' rebuttal be? Because I think we all agree they should. And we did that. We talked about that yesterday. To how hard the challenge of acquiring a reliable arm, someone that can help. Because everyone wants that. It's like an offensive tackle.
You're right.
Hard to find. You want reliability in your bullpen. You want to be able to protect your quarterback. It's the same thing. And so in the bullpen, finding a reliable arm, you mentioned Chapman. He's going to be available, and someone's going to give up a lot for him because it's hard to find. There was a report a couple of weeks ago, Buster Olney saying, I believe it was Buster Olney, and if not, well, then it was one of the national writers that, a lot of teams want bullpen help, and there's not a lot out there. What's the rebuttal to that? Because it is going to be hard. I know it's their job, but it's going to be a challenge.
Absolutely, and I think that would be the way it doesn't happen, is if people start bidding. If there is a lot of teams bidding on these relievers, the Reds are going to be one that is not comfortable giving up as much as these other teams, because the core that's up here right now isn't proven to be making a push. So you're going to be battling with a lot of these other names for relief help, but the thing I keep going back to is Zach McCambley, which is obviously not the level of arm I'm asking for here. I think I would like something a little bit better than that, which obviously is a struggle, as James just said. But you traded Rhys Hines, who you DFA'd 24 hours beforehand, for a guy that's pitched in the bullpen 3 games in a row here. So there are routes to get arms that you trust more than the options the Reds have right now. Now, how great those are, I don't know. And that is certainly a question that I don't even know that we can answer right now until we find out what is available as we approach this trade deadline. What even is available now? How many teams are comfortable selling in the second week of June before they know where their team stands in the first week of August when the trade deadline rolls around? So there's a lot of outside components that could go into the Reds not being able to make an addition here. I think the thing that I keep coming back to is it's malpractice if they don't try.
I agree. I hope they try. I think we all hope they try. I'm going to sell that they get something done. They buy it. They are buying playoff contender. I hope they're right. I hope on Monday we're talking about a sweep. We're talking about the Reds being back in it.
Our broom's collecting dust over there.
Yeah, that broom is
collecting
a lot of dust. You need a broom rack to protect it, a broom carrying case. Brutal. Regardless, coming up in 20 minutes, the worst word of the week. That, as we roll on, While You Slept, is next right here on First Word.
I gotta go somewhere to eat this now. Holy. Look at this. This is item number 4. This is the strawberry cookie dream bowl from Davis Cookie Collection. Whipped cream again on top, some cookie crumble, a strawberry cookie, and then that's gotta be ice cream. And they made this to order with some strawberry syrup on top. Ooh-wee. It's like, when you get a dip top, I always get the strawberry dip top. Oh, this is delicious. Oh, yeah. Ooh. All right, the more it rests in your mouth, the better. I can feel my hips expanding. Worth it. Thank you so much. Woo-wee. Look at these. All right, here we go. The Wicked Hickory brisket sandwich. Oh, this looks good. Oh, yeah. Eating brisket after ice cream is tough. Hello, I don't know if I have.
They did. Yeah, you can cover that up. So they did a change on it. The snack and bites are the meatball.
Gotcha. You know what? You're not on my list.
Oh, you missed out, dude.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Next year. Huh?
You seem great. I want to eat this man's food. Damn. Heck yeah. Be careful. Thank you so much.
Enjoy, honey.
All right, this is a bruschetta grilled cheese topped with a balsamic glaze. Let's go. Oh, let's get in there. Woo! Ooh. You know, sometimes your mouth waters so much it hurts. That's what's happening right now. Look how beautiful that is. It looks like a crab. Isn't that cute? All right, to be honest, if I could, I would just give everybody a 10 out of a 10. You know, everyone gets a 5 Yelp score. For me,
Jeremy Fowler is our guest of ESPN. Jeremy, in NFL circles, are the Bengals viewed as a contender again? They've missed the playoffs 3 straight years. They make this big swing for Dexter Lawrence. Obviously, you mentioned Joe Burrow and the skill guys that they have. Are they viewed that way?
They are viewed as, in a wide open AFC North, a contender. If you can get out of that division and you can just get in the dance, they're viewed as a team still like they were 3 or 4 years ago, where anything's possible, right? Like you've seen the games they played against Kansas City when KC was in their prime. And it's one of those things where even when they lost, it felt like they probably should have won, or they dropped the ball or a play away from winning. That element there still exists. You know, it's tough though, because winning is infectious.
Yeah.
And losing is infectious too a little bit. So you can't just assume that year to year you're going to be able to bounce back. But this league is built on parity. If you've had some down years, as long as you are building the roster the right way and have enough personnel, it can flip from 7 wins to 11 wins pretty quickly. I mean, you see that league wide.
Happy Friday and welcome into First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11.
Always open.
Right here on the Crown. There we go.
Well, I had to. I only have a certain allotted time for the always open. I didn't see it at first, so I had to squeeze it in the back half.
You got it there, though.
I did.
Got it there. It's all right. Hey, you got to stay open. That's it. That's what we do here on First Word. And the Bengals keeping an open mind this offseason. Obviously, they made a ton of big moves. I got to be honest, I wasn't sure that they would do this, certainly in June. But June 9th, they get a fully guaranteed deal done with their second-round pick. It's the first time in franchise history that they gave a fully guaranteed contract to a second-rounder. Cassius Howe got all $6.8 million of his contract guaranteed, courtesy of Over the Cap. For the info, it's great to see that times are a-changing, and the whole second round is going to be guaranteed eventually in the NFL. And so for the Bengals just to get ahead of this, get it done, it's a beautiful thing.
Glad to see it happen. I was a little surprised when I saw this news come out, just for the fact that it's something that the team had not done before in team history. But I guess that's just been the theme of the offseason. They just continue to get outside of organizational norms, and it's been really refreshing and, really nice way that the offseason has been kind of shaping up.
Yeah, I've been critical of the Ring of Honor process, obviously. None of the other stuff. Dexter Lawrence trade, love it. Cassius Howe pick, the pick in general, love it. The fact that they got the deal done, love it. All of the free agent additions, love it. So the Ring of Honor, we could revisit that. But as far as Cassius Howe, yeah, this is a good thing because he's going to matter for this defense this season.
Absolutely. And this was one of my big concerns when they took Cassius Howe. So I imagined it would have to be a fully guaranteed contract. And I thought that would drag itself out all the way through the summer and maybe even into training camp. And maybe that's, a little bit of remembering what happened last year and being a little nervous about that happening again. But it's great to have this done in the second week of June and Howe on the field already beforehand and now signed and all of that taken care of is a great place to be, and kudos to the Bengals for just continuing to put their best foot forward this offseason.
How many sacks do we think he has this year? Over, under 4.
Watched a pretty sweet TikTok edit of him last night. I might get up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah, there we go. Those edits are crazy. Cassius Howe's a problem.
Yeah.
I'll take the over, but I don't know if he's going to get it that high.
No, but
there's a lot of guys now on that.
Yeah, I think
5 would be great.
I think a lot of the conversation will be the snap count. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that edge room that'll be rotating in or out. I do think Howell's the one that could maximize the sacks on the lowest number of snaps potentially in that group.
15 sacks for Cassius Howe.
Sign me up.
Sounds great.
Wild.
Sounds great. Hey, maybe they get 7 for the $7 million essentially that they guaranteed him.
Also, sign me up.
That would be great. That would be great for the Cincinnati Bengals. More on the Bengals coming up in a bit. The Stanley Cup rolling on in Carolina. Huge win, a dominant win over Vegas. They were up 4-1 for most of this game. They got out early. They controlled the game. And I got to be honest, guys. I'm hoping this goes 7. I'm rooting for the Hurricanes, but I'm hoping this goes 7. So hopefully the Golden Knights can respond because this is a huge, huge dub for Carolina.
Canes are the second team in Stanley Cup final history to score 4 more goals in their first 5 games of the Stanley Cup. This offense is rolling, and it's Sebastian Aho, and they are just having an absolutely crazy time right now. This Hurricane team was a favorite all the way through all the way through the Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas upset, the Avalanche in the conference finals, and looked great for the start. But Hurricanes hitting their stride right now.
Yep, they are. It is also proof if they get one more, Marisa, that offense wins championships. I need one more 4-goal. I need one more, and then we're good.
Offense wins championships. Also the worst goalie play ever.
Hey, that's all. That's all we need is one more. Come on, say it one more.
Well, yeah, they need one. What do you mean? They need one more.
And then offense wins championships.
That's how best of 7 series.
She's getting so frustrated. She's like, no.
We're not going to have this argument today.
Carter Hart 4 more goals allowed all 5 games. He was a phenomenal goalie in the regular season, so I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Forgot how to goalie.
I guess.
You know what they say. You got to goal that goalie.
Did they say that?
I think they might. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's continue with Brendan Sorsby, the latest. And it goes from funny and offense wins championships. It's a funny back and forth. What is going on at Texas Tech?
Yeah.
It is the weird shuffle around the Sorsby stuff and trying to justify it, but also say that he's wrong, but also justify it, and also trying to tiptoe around it with the idea of getting him on the field has been quite interesting.
Yeah, it certainly has. There's been a lot this week that have come out. Texas Tech, president of the university, the AD, the coach, released a 22-minute video yesterday explaining their stance. This was the statement from the athletic director, Kirby Hockett. And basically, just to summarize here, that the point was that Brendan Sorsby is a member of the football team. He's a student at Texas Tech University, and Texas Tech will be taking the stance to help him through anything he needs as he's battling through this addiction and getting the help that he needs with the gambling addiction. So I think the conversation here now turns to, can Texas Tech help him without having him start for their football team? And that seems to be the disconnect between a lot of people at Texas Tech. They're saying it's their job as a member of their team, a member of their student faculty right there, that they need to help him with what he needs with his addiction. But in order to do that, he has to play football for them at quarterback. And I just can't see how those two are intertwined. Get him the help he needs, go through everything in that sense. He doesn't need to play quarterback. Yeah, he hasn't earned the right to play college football next year, and he shouldn't be able to.
Are you surprised that they're going with this approach? Or is this, it is
their only chance.
And that's I get, the logic behind it. I just wonder when they were in the room of, all right, we need to get this injunction. We need this to be past the college football season. We know there's going to be pushback. Here's our strategy. I assume there was a plan before this week that to enact all this. Is this how they thought it was going to go? Because it just doesn't feel like, even if he gets on the field and they accomplish their mission, it's going to feel icky.
Yeah.
Yes.
For lack of it's going to feel, you better win, and it's going to come with pressure and scrutiny. And I like that there will be a villain, from that element. That's a fun storyline. But getting there is going to feel gross.
Well, do you also think they would be taking this approach and the Sorsby conversation would be what it is if NIL wasn't a thing and they didn't have all this money invested in him?
I certainly don't think it hurts. He also probably wouldn't be at Texas Tech if it wasn't for a $5 million NIL check. So I think a lot of that goes into it for sure. I do think there is a question that kind of gets thrown away with this whole thing because gambling's obviously such a big topic right now. Is Brendan Sorsby a good quarterback? I think there's a world where he goes out there and plays quarterback for Texas Tech this year and they aren't good and they aren't a championship contender because he was average at UC. So this whole conversation could flip again that they're fighting for all of this for a quarterback who might not even be all that. The quote that really stood out to me yesterday from the video that Texas Tech posted was AD Kirby Hockett saying, "There is no reason whatsoever to question the integrity of our athletics department. Integrity of the game is sacred, and there is nothing more important to Texas Tech."
Yeah, that is false.
Yeah, I'd say.
That is false because they're even trying this.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something in that NIL deal that they could just get out of and roll. Like if they really wanted to.
If it's revenue sharing, absolutely. If not, that's where it gets tricky.
For sure. But whoever, put it like this. If I'm signing off on a $5 million NIL check and you get in trouble for gambling on the game, guess what? You should be able to there should be some clause in that deal that gets you out of it.
Yeah.
And so Texas Tech potentially selling their soul here for Brendan Sorsby. We'll see if it pays off. We'll see what happens there. The World Cup, well, it started on Thursday night. A couple of results for you as South Korea handing a 2-1 loss to the Czech Republic, or 2-1 victory over the Czech Republic, and Mexico a 2-0 win over South Africa. Jeff Cameron going to join us at 9. Big deal there to preview tonight's USA matchup. But yeah, a couple of games in the books already.
Pretty great start to the World Cup. I mean, South Korea getting its first World Cup opening match since 2010, but Mexico getting the first win of the World Cup, also scored the first goal of the tournament, and that game played in front of over 80,000 fans down in Mexico City. So a phenomenal turnout and pretty exciting start for how the World Cup is going to get rolling off. Excited to see the U.S. take the pitch this evening over in Los Angeles, and really excited to have Jeff Cameron join us later in the show to give us a little bit of preview.
3 red cards in that Mexico game was pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting that to have a team down a man already or that early in the World Cup, but a great game in that stadium. Looked unbelievable, the atmosphere in Mexico. So hoping that can translate to the U.S.'s games here. The host country is already putting on a good show.
Yeah, we'll love it. We will have you covered, like Marisa said, Jeff Cameron today at 9 right here on First Word. Did you see this Chiefs deal? Patrick Mahomes, at making an average annual value of $64 million per year, becomes the NFL's first $500 million player. You a player? Yeah, he's a player, and he's making a heck of a lot of money here. And I'm not shocked that he reworked his deal. He famously signed that 10-year contract that gave the Chiefs all sorts of flexibility, and they've restructured that a bunch. Now adding a couple of years onto his deal, I think this is setting a precedent. Joe Burrow, if he balls out this year, this is going to be a discussion next offseason.
Certainly feels like it every year. It's like which quarterback can reset the market and top the next one. It's at one point, we're probably going to get into the 6, 7, 8 numbers. It's just absolutely insane how high these quarterback contracts are getting.
Absolutely, and Mahomes, one of the most unique contracts in football, just adding those years on the end, always bumping him up to where he deserves to be in the pantheon of quarterback contracts at that point. And thought it was interesting to see there's 2 $60 million quarterbacks now in the NFL. 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champ Patrick Mahomes, and 1-time playoff game winner Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's right. Look at you. Now you're on my side with the Dak Prescott stuff.
I just thought it was a funny stat.
It is. It's a very funny stat. And all of the top quarterbacks are going to make 60 plus.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow will make 60 plus on his next deal. I'm sure it'll be 65 or more. And if he plays the way he should, the Bengals should try to get ahead of that and do that a year from now, or less than a year from now, 10 months from now, because the farther you get ahead on these big deals, the quarterback market's not going to go down.
Nope.
No.
It will continue to rise. We'll see a $70 million quarterback, a $75 million. It'll just keep going up and up and up. And hopefully the Bengals know that. Hopefully he puts himself in position to earn another major payday with the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, this is your chance. This is your chance. St. X Moeller State Championship on the line. They advance. They play off in the Division I State Championship game. Let's talk that baseball.
Doesn't get much better than this for Cincinnati, right? St. X and Moeller end up on opposite sides of the bracket, make it all the way through to the state championship. They'll face off tonight. St. X first regional win in over 20 years to get there, and then winning in the Final Four over Olentangy Orange. Shutout 5-run win for the Bombers, and then Moeller with a great comeback win in their Final Four game as well. Matt Ponitowski pitched for Moeller last night. He's the Kentucky commit, looking to be drafted to the MLB draft later this summer. Probably won't pitch tonight, but good thing he hits about 400 as well. So St. X will have their work cut out for him, but this will be a great game. One of the best rivalries in the state, maybe one of the best high school rivalries in the country. Really excited to see it in the state championship.
I love it because as someone who's neutral, I don't have a dog in the fight between Moeller and X. Can't lose.
I was rooting for Moeller just as hard as I was rooting for X yesterday.
Yeah.
I wanted this state championship really bad.
Yeah, this is legendary.
Yeah.
Like, this is, in obviously, Jacob went to St. X, so he's rooting for X. A lot of you are watching probably went to Moeller, have someone that went to Moeller or X or whatever, and so you have dogs in the fight. Great. I just love that we're talking about two schools within 8 miles of each other now playing for a state title.
Yeah, in Akron. Like, just move it down here if it's going to be two Cincinnati schools. Don't make them make the trip.
GABP.
Oh,
that would
be awesome. Would probably be better baseball than is going to be played there this weekend.
If it was at GABP, I would go.
For sure.
For sure. Absolutely. And we'll preview Reds Diamondbacks, but yeah, like, which game would I care about more? Ex-Moeller state title? Yeah, I mean, that's...
Ex-Elder at Paycor delivered, so, I mean, I imagine the crowd would be pretty crazy at Great American.
Yeah, I think so. So good luck to both teams. Ex-Moeller, I can't root for a tie, but I certainly hope... I hope it's like 6-5.
Oh, I hope it's just
multiple runners on, back and forth. That's what I don't want it to be like 8-0. Then pain.
Couldn't agree more.
Straight pain. Plenty to dive into. We have a Reds preview to get to coming up. Jeff Cameron at 9, and some Bengals conversation coming your way on a fired up Friday edition of First Word.
My name is James Rapien, and I host First Word every weekday morning, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. Prior to joining The Crown Network, I covered the Bengals for Sports Illustrated for 6 seasons. I also am the founder of Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube and wrote the book, Enter the Jungle, A History of the Cincinnati Bengals. Couldn't be more excited to join you every weekday morning for First Word right here on The Crown.
I mean, I've enjoyed being here, especially these days. Like, the food scene's incredible, the art's incredible. I mean, again, there's opportunities for everything. We were just talking. I just booked a big nationwide commercial, and I shot it on a weekend up near Mason. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome to me.
Well, and we've got, in terms of your filmmaking work,
Ooh.
I first came to know your work through a little short film. There it is.
Oh, yes.
Called Chilluminati.
Yes.
Which was a submission into the very first Independent Film Festival in 2018.
Yeah.
That's how I met you. Tell people about Chilluminati.
So when I first moved to Cincinnati, I thought it was very weird that there was what I've lovingly referred to as a chili-based economy here. And I was just like, it's fascinating to me that there are these two chain restaurants that compete solely with each other as far as, obviously there's the mom and pop places too. I don't want to belittle them. But I was like, you're telling me there's one blue chili brand and one red chili brand? And I was like, this is BS. There's just got to be one Greek guy at the top of this that invented the recipe. It was like, all right, the family split off. And so for years, I would joke with my friends, that were natives here. I'm like, oh, the chili mafia. You know what I mean? All this, like, it was like, be careful. And don't get me wrong, I adopted Cincinnati chili.
Sure.
Like, it's one of my own.
It's big business in this town. You're right.
It
It is a
I need to be a
chili-based
part
economy.
of it.
That's really good.
But I do love it. And then it all came to fruition when this came out of one of the 48-hour film projects. Because that was just one of those ones where I think me and my team at the time were all just, a couple of us worked together, and we were all just a little depressed, and we're like, we need to make a passion project. So I kind of signed us up unknowingly for 48.
Which, for those of you that don't know, the 48-hour film project is exactly what it sounds. It's a group of people can sign up. You pay to join, and then you have 2 days to write and shoot and edit and put all together. And then, like, there's certain little themes you have to pepper in.
Exactly.
Hi, my name is Natalie Jones. Just your typical 40-year-old Cincinnati girl. Although, no, I'm not married or divorced. I don't have any kids, and I don't live in the neighborhood I grew up in, which is the West Side, by the way. But what I do have is a lot of freaking time, and I've been using it well. So come along with me on this grand adventure, because I've been trying all the new around town that you need to know about. This is Nat Tries That. On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on The Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
It is time for the worst word. Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Marisa Contipelli and Jacob Tissot. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
You ready for this? The debut of the worst word.
I don't know if I am.
Really?
Knowing what we have to talk about and listen to, I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I am ready for the worst word. I'm excited for this. I'm not excited to... I'm excited to react to it.
Yeah.
I hate that we have to put this out here. Yeah. This Cody Campbell guy, who you don't really need to know, but you should know, I guess.
Kind of need to know at this point.
At this point, you need to know. Brendan Sorsby, as of now, is eligible.
Right.
And Texas Tech is pushing back and all of those things. And Cody Campbell, well, he's one of the few that are defending Sorsby. Here's what he had to say earlier this week, and it is our official worst word of the week.
It's because the college football world doesn't think that Texas Tech should be as good as we are. You know, we've been a disruptor, just like Indiana has. And so we're a target, and we have been even before any of this started. Now, the volume has gone way up, and a lot of it's been directed at me and at Coach McGuire and at, our university. But that's not fair. If this had happened at LSU, people would say, it's LSU. They're always going to kind of do what they do, and, they're going to keep playing. But it happened at Texas Tech, and, people don't want to compete with this. Of course, ADs in the Big 12 are saying crazy things and, saying they don't want to play us. Well, they don't want to play us because they know he's good, and they don't want us to be as competitive. They want to have a better chance at winning the conference. So they're inherently conflicted in their opinion. And so, again, we're going to do the right thing by this kid, and we're going to follow the law.
That's Cody Campbell. He's a member of Texas Tech's University System Board and a head of their NIL for Texas Tech, and obviously played a big role in signing that check for Brendan Sorsby to come play quarterback for them this year. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think people are mad because it's Texas Tech. I think people might be mad because Brendan Sorsby bet on college football games he played in.
What, you think that's why?
I don't know. Might be crazy.
It's not because people don't want to play against Texas Tech because they're good?
The delusion. If it's LSU, it's not a thing.
Right. If Lane Kiffin broke eligibility rules, nobody would be talking about it.
He would be fired into the sun. Yes, it would be a bigger story. The fact that it's Texas Tech means it's not as big of a story.
Exactly.
Honestly, it's the other way. In this idea, he compared Texas Tech to Indiana as a disruptor. Who do you think you are? Like, what? A disruptor?
They have disrupted the system to his credit.
They've been good.
Pouring $50 million into a roster and circumventing the CSC.
Indiana, though, there's levels now.
Absolutely.
Indiana's different now. They are. And last season, I was wrapping my head around how different they are. Texas Tech and Indiana are on different playing fields.
Well, and we saw the difference. Texas Tech got ran off the field by a team Indiana beat in the playoffs. There's a discrepancy here between the teams that are being talked about. And I don't understand what this push is that Texas Tech is in the Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon group, that people that are neutral fans are rooting against that university's success. Texas Tech has been relevant for right about 12 months. And it was last year when they made the playoff. I cannot wrap my head around why he thinks there's so much national outrage that Texas Tech might be good. I'm not even entirely sure Sorsby's good, much less your entire roster. And you're fighting for the integrity of the sport not being a problem when a guy who bet on a team whose roster he was on, the only way you can help him through his struggles is by playing him at quarterback. That's where my disconnect comes in. If the focus is helping Texas Tech student athletes, help him. Absolutely help him. But he doesn't need to be on the field playing quarterback. I don't understand the disconnect, and I don't understand the take that it's because it's Texas Tech. I can think of 25 schools where people would be more mad at the name at the front of the jersey.
Worst word of the week. This might be one of the worst words I think I've ever heard. This is a horrendous take. And I think the more that Texas Tech has people going out there talking about the situation, trying to defend it, the worse they're making it in the public eye. And I just keep going back to what message are you sending the rest of your student athletes, the rest of the students at that university, that you're going to allow something like this to happen, that it's just going to brush it under the radar. We had someone in our YouTube comments say, what if Sorsby would have been a third or fourth string quarterback? Would they still be defending him and reacting in the same way? I don't think
we
that
wouldn't
would
have
be the
heard
case.
about it. He would have been off the team and off the roster within 24 hours.
Yeah, so that's part of it. Texas Tech clearly thinks Sorsby is the missing piece. They think he's good, and that's why they're bending everything to make this sound better and feel better. It's not better.
Right.
It is what it is. I would respect it more if they either left it alone and didn't say anything and just put out a statement and let it go and thought it would breeze over. Because that's what it may do at Texas Tech. Yeah. That's what it wouldn't do at LSU or the big-time schools that truly do matter. Shot.
Absolutely.
So there's one. Two, why during their strategy plan did they say this is how we're going to do it? Or are they all just flying by the seat of their pants, which is a very dangerous game? And they might be. It feels that way with how they're throwing things out and everything's on. Like, this is the worst word. But it's not just Cody Campbell. It's all been the worst coming out of Texas Tech for all week long since Brendan Sorsby had that prepared IG post like, oh, I'm back. I can't wait to join my teammates after the injunction was filed.
No, absolutely. And it was a really tight race for which quote to use for worst word today between that one and Cody Campbell and this one from Texas Tech president Lauren Shavnak, because it's not just the athletic department anymore. It's the university president taking stances like this. The quote read, "I think we have to recognize the rules in place now were made long before there were millions of young people walking around with legal gambling apparatuses in their pocket. So just because you can gamble, you should be allowed to bet on your own team." That is an insane stance. And I can't understand Cody Campbell and the university president and the AD and all of these people going up and talking. Joey McGuire spoke at an event last night. They all have said different things, and they've all taken different approaches here. Really, it seems like the first time they were all in the same room was to film that 22-minute video yesterday that had 4 hard cuts in it because they had to answer questions multiple times to get the wording right.
Yeah, it's a good call. And the hard cuts are a good call, too, because you can notice.
Yes.
You can tell. We don't have hard cuts here on First Word because we never mess up. No, but we certainly don't spew the nonsense that is coming out of Texas Tech. A ridiculousness. Congrats, Mr. Campbell. You're the worst word of the week right here on First Word. Up next, it's time to talk Reds. And Jacob's man, Sal Stewart, will do that next right here on The Crown.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
When people think of St. Vincent de Paul, Cincinnati, they're thinking of the thrift stores. Our market research showed that pretty heavily. And they actually had a huge gap in mission clarity, understanding what we really do. You know, most people had no idea that we do homelessness prevention support, that we are a leader in providing emergency assistance when someone's about to be evicted or foreclosed on. Most people had no idea. You know, last year we gave out $17 million worth of medication. We gave out $7 million worth of food and nearly $4 million in housing and utilities assistance. When people are shopping in the thrift store, they often go, I don't know, they're probably providing jobs to people. I don't know. You know, there's definitely, or they probably do a food drive somewhere around here. Like there's these assumptions about St. Vincent de Paul, and then there's the actual impact that they have no idea they're making possible. So the last couple years, we brought everybody on a journey of when you donate to the thrift store, what does that become? You know, you might be donating a box of clothes, but we are turning that into a box of food for a family. Or you might be donating, you know, a lamp, and we're able to make that into a medication with the sale of that. And so it's exciting to educate the community. The thrift stores are strong. We added the Hamilton one up in Butler County. That was our first Butler County one. That was so exciting. That was last year. It's going very well. Milford, we bought the old Big Lots out there. And so now we have 2 buildings, and then we have the pharmacy. So there's 3 buildings out there for now. We'll see how as we keep growing. It's just, there's so much exciting growth. There's so much trust from the community. And it feels like a huge duty of ours to protect and steward that trust and keep increasing our impact, honestly, and partnering well.
Get there, but there's just everybody has a question mark right now.
No question about it. You're absolutely right. But I think where I'm at right now is we see players in the NFL every single year surprise and disappoint in terms of the production over their careers. And for the Bengals right now, every defense in the NFL is just on paper. Whether it's a coaching change or roster changes or whatever it is, some more than others, I understand that. The Bengals probably leading that group in terms of the overall changes they made to their defense this year. But in terms of on paper, this defensive line is really, really good to me. And I think when you're comparing saying it to everyone else in the league, the depth is what sets them apart. Maybe you don't have that killer, but having Dexter Lawrence in the middle and Jonathan Allen, not as the marquee guy on the defensive line, but as a second fiddle kind of to Dexter Lawrence, I think just really frees him up to hopefully tap back into some fountain of youth stuff there. And then you said 2 out of the 3 in the edge room need to hit in order to have success, and you're absolutely right. But I just think the Bengals having more bites at the apple here this year to get those 2 that hit, give them a better chance of that coming to fruition.
Every morning, Cincinnati wakes up and gets to work. Companies are built, deals are made, restaurants open, ideas become careers, and every day the people behind it all sit down at the working lunch. Founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, the people building Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays, noon to 1, only on The Crown.
With the Hezzy, and yes, I am back from vacation. We're not rolling on a Tuesday, we are rolling on a Friday. It's not hump day. We are with you all morning long here.
It's like the greatest. You're gonna need to pipe down over there.
The greatest.
We got something.
No, let him finish. What were you about to say?
It was like the greatest hits. Go.
The greatest hits. I'm so glad he thinks that.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because you know what? We love to have fun here on First Word. And James.
It's a trap. I walked into a trap.
You absolutely did. Repeat and Rapien. So, all week long, we have been tracking your repeats here on First Word. And these 3 just absolutely took the cake this week.
Rolling on a Tuesday is 7
Only
is a lot.
7.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot for rolling.
6 Hezzies yesterday.
Hump day, I'm mad that the number isn't higher. The Marisa vacation abuse, I'm mad it isn't higher than infinite.
It was really high.
Good.
I got to 16 and then I stopped counting on just Monday alone.
Let's go.
So
was it really?
Yeah.
It was at 5 in the opening segment, James.
just the opener.
Clap it up.
Yes.
As soon as
Mission accomplished.
When we were
that
counting
is the best graphic ever.
Yeah.
When
we were counting through this
That's
stuff
a lot of meat
last night, the thing that I went to was wilt numbers, because you're filling the stat sheet there, double digits everywhere, 50, 20, and 10. I mean, triple doubles all the time over there.
Rapien. Who came up with it?
It was a team effort.
I think it was a team effort.
Yeah.
I love it.
We had a little powwow in the control room and figured that out and worked together with Gabe and Casey to whip all that up and repeat and repeat.
This has been in the works all week.
All week.
Oh, man. I love it. I love every bit of it. I do. This is great. Look at them bullying me. You see it? No, I'm just kidding. I love this.
The screen grabs are phenomenal.
The screen grabs are the hump day one. I look so mad that you went on vacation. Who takes vacation?
Exactly.
Those numbers are high. I mean, it's important to remember there are 16 blocks.
So 16 blocks, 13 hump days. Do you count if it's multiple in one block?
Yes.
That's 2.
Every mention of it.
And, a little sneak in of this 13. You ended Tuesday's show with tomorrow is hump day.
We did count
so that actually counted as well.
Yeah.
Wow, I did. Yes. I'm trying to set this. I got to be the camel that brings hump day back.
That's right. So that make you Mike? No, Mike was in the cubicle.
Gotcha. Just saying. That's Rapien is wild.
It's a great name.
I think that's what my haters call me.
That's good.
Right?
Jeremiah Love, we heard it enough.
Oh, man. During some of our tests. Whoo, Jeremiah Love. There you go. We could do that one.
If we had a counter at that point.
Oh my gosh, that absolutely would have
been higher than the vacation.
James Isms. Man.
James Isms. It's another good name.
You a player? Surprised it didn't make it. The dogs one would have made it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Huh? No, I
stuck on this.
A couple of weeks ago during our test shows, I went on the Charlotte coach, the We some dogs. We don't need the cats. So I did the dogs reference a bunch of times.
I will say, watching the show
number of barks.
Watching the show on 2x speed yesterday to count some of that stuff was pretty funny.
Oh man,
it was great.
I just love that you counted.
Oh yeah,
we took it very
as soon as we got
serious.
home. We were texting each other last night, counting this up, texting Gabe, finding screenshots for your faces. Oh yeah, this was
a lot.
This was week long.
You guys are way sick of me.
Marisa and I's individual Slack group chat has been popping off all week.
How about you? You know, Sal's also been popping off.
I don't know what to say. I just love the graphic. Save that graphic. I want it. I want to.
We'll probably be using it again.
I want to post it on social. This is the OG though. This is the OG one. All right. So Sal Stewart is rolling on a Friday, and they certainly are hoping that Sal Stewart rolls all weekend long against the Diamondbacks. Sal Stewart, the best, one of the best in the major leagues at the ABS challenges, and he does it more than anybody.
The best. Absolutely the best. And it comes with the success rate, but also the sample size. You see him right there at the top. Most successful ABS challenger in baseball at the plate this year, tied with Kevin McGonigal at 66.7%, 2/3 of his challenges getting right, but double the number of batter challenges. That is the biggest thing here. Sal Stewart is not scared to challenge, and that was the first thing I saw yesterday when diving into this, was the discrepancy between him and the second place in terms of how often people are utilizing ABS challenges at the plate. You saw right there, Sal has 30 challenges at the plate this year. Second on the list, MLB wide, is Gary Sanchez at 19. It's not even close to Sal Stewart over that time frame. And then to be the most successful by percentage as well, not just total count, Sal is unbelievable at the plate. And I think this is a huge statistic to build up confidence in a long-term plate approach. Obviously, the hits were great in April. He's had some struggles since. He has a great understanding of the strike zone. And so much of the talking points with Ellie De La Cruz when he came up, Noelvi Marte over the last year and a half, other marquee prospects for the Reds, have been that chase rate and the inability to differentiate between those pitches on the corners for the Reds. Sal has not had that problem, and he's even taken it to another level by flipping 2/3 of these calls. This is an unbelievable stat for a 22-year-old in his rookie season.
Yeah, I think it's one of the, he's going to be just fine. Even though he's had some struggles and all of those things. The fact that he's seeing the plate as well as he is, the fact that the challenges are going his way, I think it would be so tempting as a young player to, it's almost like in basketball, you call foul.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a foul, what are you talking, review. And
take a peek.
And like 1 out of every 10 basketball players get that right. And when they call for reviews, especially if they aren't experienced, Sal's playing like a veteran in the game when it comes to this, and I love it.
And I love that his confidence at the plate is not being affected by being shuffled around the defense. He played first base almost exclusively when Suarez and Brian Hayes were up here
love his
to start the year. I really do, because it's not just the ability to play everywhere. He does it all really well. He's had success at second base, and third base is the position he's played the most throughout the minors. And he's been penciled in as the future first baseman of this team. So I don't think a lot of players with his offensive production and obviously this comfort in the zone have that ability. And for him to have it at this age, this early in his career, I couldn't say enough about how excited I am for Sal Stewart.
Yeah, and it's also great that it also just shows the trust that Tito and the coaching staff has, that they're okay with him making these challenges, calling out when he's up there at bat. And you look at just the numbers, the Reds have challenged ABS at the plate 80 times. 30 of those have come from Sal, so nearly half of the at-bats, and I kind of hope that also has like a ripple effect to the rest of the guys in that lineup. I mean, we saw Matt McClain win 3 in a row not too long ago, and hopefully what Sal is seeing up there starts to wear off on some of the other guys in the lineup.
I do think his approach could certainly rub like that mindset, especially you mentioned Marte.
Yeah.
The young guys that are Arroyo, guys that you hope join him as part of this young core that matters and is going to matter for the Reds for a long time. Yeah, I think that him setting that tone, that standard is a very real thing.
And I think that's what, as soon as Ellie went down, that was the question, is who's going to be on a day in, day out basis trying to set that standard for this team. And I think a lot of people hoped it was Sal. Whether that's fair to him or not at this age and this many games in, that's what's been put on his plate. And even though the production hasn't been there, every post-game interview, every time I see him in the dugout, he's standing, he's talking to players, he has energy, he still has great vision at the plate, even though the contact hasn't necessarily been there over the last month or so. And all of that just continues to, back to the conversation we had earlier this week about when is time for an extension with these young players. All of this stuff is just as important to me as the batting average, 60 games into his rookie season, because this is the stuff I think breeds long-term success. And Sal Stewart checks every single box for me.
Yeah, totally get it. Totally understand the mindset that he's taking, and that approach is working for Sal Stewart. I just wonder if you guys are going to count how many fired up Fridays I do. I'm probably at like 5.
Have you been in our Slack group?
We will tell you. Here we go.
You knew what it was, though. The Fired Up Friday.
I'm guessing 5. Man, I'm questioning everything now. What is being monitored?
It's not that high.
It sounds like plenty, but you know what? I'm fired up on a Friday to get the latest on the World Cup from Jeff Cameron. We will do that, and we're going to dive into Reds Diamondbacks in 20 minutes, right here on First Word. Jeff Passan predicts that the Reds will be sellers at the trade deadline, and here's what he wrote. Objective, stop living at 500 and play like a playoff team. If they were to unload someone, it would be Brock Burke, who pitched well earlier this week, and if they were to get someone, it could be Taylor Ward, the outfielder, to give them some outfield help, which I think everybody would agree with. You buying this? You buying that the Reds could be sellers, will be sellers at the deadline?
I certainly think it's an option, and they're headed that direction, but this has to be the 4th, maybe 5th year in a row that the Reds' ideal trade deadline target's listed as Taylor Ward. So nice to see that keep coming around. First it was when he was with the Angels, now on an expiring deal with the Orioles. He's a free agent this offseason, so expect more conversation when he hits the market this offseason. But the first thing I thought of with this was, if the Reds are going to unload someone at the deadline and it's a relief pitcher, what does the second half of this season look like for Reds fans in the bullpen?
Were you? No, hell no. Why were you there? To have a drink. How old were you? I was in my 20s. Yeah. You've told me this story before, and it started. You said that you were working, and then you went to the pavilion because that was the cool spot at the time. Which, by the way, it was cool when I was a kid too. R.I.P. to the pavilion in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that you were waiting for my dad, on the back patio. Yeah, I was. I'm watching these 3 red balls in the sky. I was sitting with people, and I wouldn't tell anyone. Really? No, I would not, because I thought, they'll think I'm nuts. Yeah. But I'm watching these things, and then they zoomed off. Well, so fast. Have you ever seen anything like that since? No. All right, so that explains a lot, because all growing up, you were obsessed with the movie Alien. I saw the movie Alien when I was 5. And I was there. Yeah, you were there. I also saw the movie. I was. I know. I also saw the movie It when I was 5 and had nightmares and peed the bed for a decade after that. I peed the bed for so long and had nightmares from watching the movie It when I was a kid. And he watched X-Files a lot, just all Stephen King stuff, supernatural and alien stuff. I'm very into Stephen King. You did read all the books too. I did. I did. And I missed that tremendously, being able to read a book. Yeah. Oh. Well, so this is my mom. Hello. Hi, my name is hi, my name is Natalie Jones. And this is my mother, Mary Beth. And actually, what is your last name?
Welcome back to First Word. We are with you until 11 o'clock here on The Crown. And the World Cup is finally here, and the U.S. serving as a host country for the second time, first since 1994. I'm Marisa Contipelli alongside Jacob Tissot. And it's time for us to dive into a little World Cup preview. And when we knew we wanted to talk the World Cup and the U.S. men's national team, we knew we wanted to get someone who not only played for the U.S., was a starter in the 2014 World Cup, also pretty known to FC Cincinnati fans here in the Queen City. Let's welcome into the show Jeff Cameron. Jeff, really appreciate you spending some time to talk a little U.S. men's national team with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for the U.S. co-hosting, like I said, for the first time since 1994, just how important would you say are the next 5 to 6 weeks when you look at, soccer in America and really looking to take hold of this opportunity when it comes to growing the sport here in the country?
I mean, it's massive. I mean, that's where my career really started, the 1994 World Cup. My dad took me to my first World Cup game, and I got to experience the energy, the awe of what the World Cup has to offer. And I was able to go see the Bolivian national team train at an open training camp in Foxborough, Mass. And it was really cool. It inspired me to dream a little bit bigger. And then, 14 years later, I was able to make my first professional debut at Foxborough Stadium in my hometown. And it's kind of from there. I wanted to play for the national team, play in a World Cup, and dreams do come true. And I think these are moments that are going to change the scale of soccer here, and I like to say football in America.
I certainly hope so, and such a surreal, moment to hear that you had, in your path and your career and journey. When you look at this U.S. men's national team, currently favored to make it out of group play in Group D, going to be taking on Paraguay, Australia, Turkey in their initial group stage matches. Which one of those matchups would you say maybe presents the toughest challenge for this U.S. squad?
It's a question that keeps coming up, and I mean they're all difficult. I mean It's just the first one is going to be, for me, it's going to set the tone. Paraguay is going to be difficult. They're going to make it very frustrating on the U.S. They're missing, obviously they just came out, they're missing out one of their more creative players. And back when we played them, we beat them 2-1. They made it very physical. They frustrated us. And I think that's the pressure's on us, really. But I think we need to ride that wave. We need to calm our emotions and really embrace all the energy, all the feelings that we have. We're playing in our home country, so let's use that and to our advantage and go out there with a big win and make a statement.
France was the last host nation to win a World Cup. The United States has never won one. What would it take for this year's group to hoist that trophy on the hometown soil?
Everybody's got to be spot on. I mean, you got to dream, and anything's possible. You can beat anybody on any given day. Everybody's just got to perform, and you need some luck. And I think that's one of those things. Hopefully we create our own luck and we ride that wave and our energy and all the watch parties across the U.S., the people that are going to be going to the games. We need them more than ever, and we need to talk positive about the players and really build them up, give them that confidence that they need to hear. And like I said, anything's possible. So let's go USA.
Go USA, certainly hoping for a long World Cup journey for this team. But when you think about what, success could look like for the U.S. men's national team, is it, really about results or performance, or is there something else, maybe bigger picture, that could be at play?
No, I think it's really about results. I think, we've been trying to find that culture over the last year or two. I think Pochettino's kind of gotten it right over these past two games, these friendlies kind of leading up to the World Cup. We got to see that little bit of a bite, and we got a little bit nasty, and I think that's what you kind of need going into the World Cup. Getting guys like Christian Pulisic flying. I mean, he's going to be the really main focus of the U.S. national team. But you have all those other guys around him to feed him the ball and let him be creative. So getting that right, but don't take anything for granted. This is your moment. Embrace it, and leave it all out there. And that's really, really it. And I have a really good positive feeling about this because it's something so special that we won't see for a very, very long time. Us hosting the World Cup and the U.S. playing in front of their own fans, it's going to be spectacular.
I'm glad you brought up Christian Pulisic. He's just been such a catalyst for this team and has really become, the face of U.S. soccer here in America. When you look at what he brings to this team, he's one of the most experienced players on this roster. Where do you think he can maybe have the biggest influence in? Is it, creating chances, scoring, or just maybe that leadership that he brings to the group?
I think he's a leader by just example. He's not a talker. He leads by his play, and I think that's what really great leaders do. He's going to create chances, but he's going to draw a lot of attention from the other team. So by him drawing attention in, he might be able to slip other players in and really kind of get the other guys around. But for me, he's going to be our really go-to person to do something. I mean, he's faced a lot of backlash over these last couple of years. People telling him, him not taking a break and saying where's his focus with the U.S. men's national team. I've had the privilege and the honor to play with him when he first started his U.S. national team career, and the guy has something special. And he leaves his heart. He leaves it all out there. So for me, I know how bad he wants this, and I know how bad he wants this to be successful. So, hey, you got to back him up. And he's, like I said, whenever he faces adversity, he always puts the ball in the back of the net and he silences the critics. So let's see him do it again.
Absolutely. It's certainly the face of the U.S. men's national team. But outside of Pulisic, who's a player on the men's team this year that could be a breakout star and maybe become a household name to people who are kind of just tuning into this team in this World Cup?
Yeah, I like Balogun. I like Tillman. I think Tillman gives something a little bit different than other players. He can find those creative passes that other players can't see. I mean, you can kind of compare him with Gio Reyna, but I think Tillman's kind of really on form right now. And if he links up with Christian, and then you have Weston McKennie and you have Tyler Adams, all kind of orchestrating that middle, I really think that Tillman can give something a little bit special. And yeah, I'd like to see him and Balogun really, really connect, and with Christian coming underneath.
Jeff, you played defense for FCC here in Cincinnati, a fellow FCC defender on the United States men's national team this year in Miles Robinson. What could FCC fans expect to see from him, and what does it mean for him to make this roster after the turmoil in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big thing for him to overcome. Obviously, the disappointment when he got injured the last time around, and now he's here, and you could see it in the two friendlies leading up. He was, you could see that his nerves have kind of settled in, and a couple of mistakes, but he recovered really quickly. He was able to bounce back. He's physical, he's strong, he's dominant. He's a physical specimen. So you can see the U.S. using him on set pieces and really if teams are high pressuring or they're looking for a counterattack, he's a guy that can stop that because he's just that physically strong and he's quick. So it'll give that more security at the back. But overall, I think it's a fantastic honor for him to be in there. And as one of the leaders, along with Matt Miazga at FCC, it's great to see him on the national team.
It really is. I know all of us in Cincinnati are eagerly awaiting to see him take the pitch during this World Cup play. But Jeff, when you look at the U.S. roster and the way that they, like to attack and their style of play, what would you say is maybe the biggest strength of this team as they start tournament play?
I would say they're a little bit underdogish, right? Like we don't have any crazy superstars where other teams that we're going to be playing against, and we kind of feel that if we work together as one, the 11 guys just buy into the idea. You got to go forward, you got to go backwards, and I think really understanding the discipline of that, anything's possible. And I think that's our really identity, and I think that's what the U.S. national team has always been about. We can go against the best countries in the world and go toe-to-toe with them as long as we're together, because hard work beats talent every single day of the week. And we do have some talented guys on the pitch now. And I think we show that tenacity, we show that desire, that discipline, and we show that little bit of nastiness. I think we can go a long way.
For fans who are maybe newer to following Team USA as the World Cup approaches, what is one thing they should know about this squad as they lock in for the next few weeks?
Well, I would say that this team has been known as the next generation, with a lot of young superstars, or you could say young talented players that are playing abroad now. And now it's their opportunity to shine. And really is that these guys, some of them have played with each other since their youth teams, so that they have a really good understanding of one another. So if we can take that in and just know, hey, these guys, they care, they love the national team. They're going to leave it on the field, because what I saw 2 days ago, it showed that they're a unit, and they got that culture right now. And now it's about these guys are going to be representing the U.S. and that wearing that flag on their sleeve, and they're ready to go.
That culture and playing together, so important and critical. And Jeff, you playing and starting in that 2014 World Cup, you know what it feels like, that pressure, that environment, that high stakes situation. And I think it would be fair to say that this U.S. team has a lot of high expectations going into this World Cup. But the fact that it is here in America, is there an added sense of pressure that these players might feel, just knowing they want to represent well here on their home soil? And is there a way that they could maybe overcome, some of those pressures early on?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's definitely added pressure. I mean, they're playing in front of their own fans, and they're expected to at least get out of the group stage. And, I would say a good result would be getting into the quarterfinals. And then, hey, anything can happen. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. If they make it out of their group, what's their path? Which countries are they more likely to match up against? But I think just win them all and take it one game at a time. I mean, I'm literally getting I have like anxiety watching them. I'm nervous for these guys, because I know that feeling when you step on the field. All your hard work in your entire career comes down to these moments, and you've dreamed of these moments as a kid. And do you let the nerves take the best out of you, or do you embrace those nerves and you turn it around and you make it positive and you fly off of that? So I'm really anxious for these guys. It's crazy. I was asked this question the other day, and I'm like, I'm more nervous as a fan now than I was as a player. So that should say enough.
So we'll let the guys take it one game at a time. I'm not going to let you take it one game at a time. Give me your prediction for maybe how far the U.S. will make it in this World Cup, and then big picture, who do you see maybe hosting up, the final trophy when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I got to go with the U.S. all the way. But if I was going to say another team, another country that just has something special right now at their moment, they've been resilient over these last couple years. I mean, France is the favorite, you could say, more than Argentina. But I kind of have Portugal kind of sneaking in there a little bit, just because of the adversity that team has faced over these last couple years. Losing one of their main stars on the national team, and then really kind of playing for him and stepping up and playing for Ronaldo as well. And they have a very deep squad, and I think they've shown that through the qualifiers. So, you got to say them, but I'm going USA all the way.
Go USA. Absolutely love it. Would be incredible to see the U.S. hold up that first World Cup trophy. Jeff, awesome analysis and insight. Really appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, well, the U.S. takes on Paraguay to open up their group stage play. It's going to be Friday evening at 9 o'clock from Los Angeles. But we have plenty of more to get to here on First Word. We have some more Bengals, some more Reds talk. So make sure you stay with us right here on The Crown. We're with you until 11 o'clock.
Jeff.
Crazy what goes into game planning against Dexter. If you can give us some of that, because that's obviously what defenses are going to be doing all season long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. We had a good plan against him in New York in 24. He got like a sloppy one kind of late in the play. Sure. I mean, that was when he was leading the league in sacks too. So his film, he's horrifying as a center going into games like that with a guy of that size and speed. Really, what I try to focus on when we're game planning for a guy of that caliber is, on the rank and file plays where we can get him doubled, let's get him doubled. And then when your number's called and he's on your dance card, you got to come through as much as you can. And I think that's going to cause a lot of stress for opposing centers, which brings me glee.
Joe makes the comment, and I read it. I was in the room, but I read it, and I was like, he didn't say that. And I was in the room when he said it, but he's like, we're going to go out there and win a Super Bowl this year. And he just said it so nonchalant. I was like, no, he said go out and try to win a Super Bowl. And then I went back and, no, he said go out and win a Super Bowl. When you see that from QB1 in May, and it was May at the time, what goes through your mind? What tone does that set for the rest of the team and organization?
I think that's a great goal. And it's always our goal. But there's a lot of football to be played until then. So I don't concern myself with February 27 right now. We got Dexter again tomorrow. And there's a lot of work to be done. I think we're on the right track. I'm not a prediction guy. I'm an internal goals guy. I'll throw out Super Bowl when it's appropriate, but as of June 2nd right now, I am going to just continue to do my job to the best of my ability.
What internal goals?
Well, always it's win the division. And so we started 2-0 last year, and then obviously all that happened with Joe, and so that was kind of we got that monkey off our back, but then, had a whole new set of issues. So, for the last couple of years, it's just let's start strong. So, to me, it starts with winning the division. You got to win your division. That's always the first goal. And then as we get going, Super Bowl is always the goal, overarching. We don't talk about that much internally. It did fire everyone up that Joe said that, and I love that. But we have a lot of things to work on before we're going to be touting Super Bowl after we missed the dance 3 years in a row.
Do you think that's by design for him?
Oh, yeah.
Like he knew, he was like, oh, I'm going to do that.
Oh, he does a great job with all. He's a very calculated man.
No, that's what I figured.
No, and we are all going for a Super Bowl, but there's a lot of work to be done to make that happen. It's not just we're talented on paper, and that's why we've had these last 2 OTAs have been, some of the best I've been a part of as a Cincinnati Bengal.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Let's keep it rolling on a fired up Friday. Marisa, are you sure you don't need to go on vacation before 11?
I'm good. I'm here till 11.
All right, we're with you till 11 right here on First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Tissot and Marisa Contipelli. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. And Marisa, it's going to be a busy weekend for you at GABP. There is no vacation for her this
working
weekend.
all weekends.
The opposite of that. And the Reds are working this weekend against the Diamondbacks, and it's a huge series. The Reds, 32-35 on the year. They've lost not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 straight series.
Yeah.
They need to change that this weekend.
When we talked earlier in the week, looked at the upcoming series, and I was like, you know what? I think it's realistic that they could take 2 out of the 4. I thought one of those would have been San Diego, so the opportunity massive this weekend. You absolutely have to get at least 2 out of 3 against a Diamondbacks team that comes in And they've been struggling. They've dropped 5 of their last 6. And when you look at the pitching matchups, I kind of feel like they lean in Cincinnati's favor, especially against some of these Diamondback pitchers that have been struggling. I mean, both Rodriguez and Gallen in each of their last outings have given up 4 or more runs.
Absolutely, and not a super large sample size for a lot of these Reds bats against Eduardo Rodriguez tonight, but a lot of success in the at-bats. They have been able to take 4 players above 500 career against Eduardo Rodriguez. J.J. Bleday, Nathaniel Lowe, Noelvi Marte, and Matt McLain, 2 guys that the Reds really need to take a large step with Ellie De La Cruz out. A lot of talent in McLain and Marte. Hopefully it can come to fruition this weekend and help the Reds score a couple runs.
Both teams 3-7 in their last 10. You look at the run differential there, and it's always been the Reds, one of the worst run differentials in baseball, but you look at it, coming into the year, if you'd say it's a pivotal series in June, and you have Nick Lodolo, Rhett Lauder, Andrew Abbott on the mound, I feel like we would have felt good about their chances. And so, yeah, we could talk about the lineup. Obviously, the bullpen is what it is, but Lauder, Lodolo, and who am I missing?
Abbott.
And Abbott, yeah. And
Your
All-Star
guy.
Abbott. I know, my guy. What am I doing?
All-Star Andrew Abbott.
Gabe pulled the graphic down. I'm like, oh, just complete freeze there. But all 3 of those guys have to pitch well, especially with all the bullpen concerns. Like, you need the one thing that you can count on is this starting pitching. Like, that needs to be what they lean on here during all these struggles. And if they're going to find a way to get a series win for the first time in what feels like forever.
And not only do these guys need to pitch well, I think they need to eat up innings again, too. I mean, especially when you look at Lauder, only went 3 innings, about 70 pitches his last time out, too. I know he's still, working back, being back in this Reds rotation, but it starts with Nick Lodolo tonight. And his last outing went 5, gave up 4 earned, had the home run he gave up there as well. You really need to see the Nick Lodolo that I think we all have kind of come to expect to see, especially now that he's been back for a handful of starts following the injury, the blister that he was dealing with. He has to absolutely set the tone there tonight.
Are you confident in him going into tonight? Because I think all 3 of these guys, I said, going into the year, I would be confident in all 3. And yet, Andrew Abbott, the guy I forgot for a split second there, is the one that I am confident in. Lauder, there's question marks. Even Lodolo, I do think there's some questions going into tonight.
Lodolo's shown some flashes since returning from injury, but that leash of giving him time to figure it out because he was hurt and missed time, that's gone. So whatever he is now when he's on the mound is what he is, and that's what the conversation has to be. And 2 good starts back-to-back against Philly and then the Mets, and his last 2, not as pretty. So hopefully he can get back on the horse and have a good start today because Nick Lodolo was the second arm in this rotation before the season. A rotation that was supposed to be the catalyst for the Reds being a playoff contender, potentially competing for the National League Central with the Cubs and the Brewers. Obviously, the blisters kept him out of the rotation for the first month or so of the season. Now that he's back, the other injuries that have come into play, maybe even more pressure on him now than there was before the season. And with Lauder, you mentioned how short he went in his last start against St. Louis, only 3 innings. 7 1/3 for Lauder through his last 3 starts. 7 1/3 is what I hope he can give us on Saturday. So it's an uphill battle for Lauder to get back to where he was in his first year in the majors, and then especially at the start of this year when he looked like one of the most exciting young arms in the league. Long term, certainly no concerns about Rhett Lauder and where he can get to, but short term, and the Reds needing to win games right now, I'm not as confident as I used to be.
Yeah, and the thing too with Nick Lodolo, he has to keep the ball in the yard. He's given up at least 1 home run in every single one of his starts this year, and then you look bigger picture, the Reds 17-30 this season when they've given up at least 1 home run. So I know Great American is a home run friendly ballpark, but he has to have his command in check tonight.
Well, that record allowing a home run when Lodolo and Singer, 2 of your every 5-day starters, are at the top of the league, certainly doesn't lead to a lot of success.
No, and you mentioned Lauder, 7 1/3. I'd be stunned. After what we saw.
No, obviously, but the fact that that's 3 starts is insane.
The key for him is the command.
Yes.
And he had the command in his AAA start, in his rehab start, and it was like, oh, well, he lost his command before the injury. Maybe he was dealing with it and playing through it. That's why the command was off, and he was starting as slow as he was during some of these games. And then comes back, the AAA start goes well, and then he makes his debut in his return to the bigs and struggles again with the command. If he goes 3, that really sets you back. And that's why tonight is so important. You got to get Lodolo rolling, and we'll see. This is, if there's a path to the playoffs, this starting rotation needs to be it. Where the Reds are like, hey, Every fifth day we trust. Like Brady Singer, maybe he's coming out of it a bit. Maybe Andrew Abbott, this is what he's going to be. He's going to be All-Star Abbott after an ugly April. Okay, you know what Chase Burns is, so can Lauder and Lodolo be what you were hoping they would be until at least Hunter Green gets back? That's what they need over the next month.
Absolutely, and Green's the guy that was the ace of this rotation before the season. He's going to be the ace of this rotation as long as he's wearing a Reds uniform, and being able to shove him back into this rotation in the middle of the summer is going to be a great thing for the Reds, because throughout the first couple of months, they seem to have found another ace in Chase Burns, and the strength of this rotation is even growing from what it was thought to be at the beginning of the season. So hopefully that's why I keep asking them to give him a lifeline to help the Reds stay afloat, because I do think pieces are coming that can make this team a legitimate contender. I think some of those pieces are already here, but the bullpen and the injuries that have happened to it so far require so much from the starting rotation. Almost no errors can be made, and it's a hard place to live.
Some are saying Lodolo needs to roll on a Friday.
Would be nice.
It would be nice.
Sign me up.
Another guy, revenge game for Eugenio Suarez, you think?
Sure. Probably not, but anything to get him to start hitting again.
Has 3 hits in his last 2 games.
Love that.
Got traded last year by the Diamondbacks, was dominating last year. They need him. You talk about bats. Matt McClain, whatever. Like, fine. Like, it's not 2023. You signed Suarez a few months ago to matter.
Yeah.
Especially in situations like this where Ellie De La Cruz is hurt, where you need some consistency at a home run friendly park.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Marissa's talking about it from the Reds starting pitching standpoint, and rightfully so. On the other side, hey, Eugenio Suarez, time to wake up now. Time to hit the long ball. And so, yeah, I'm looking at him going into this series as well because of that revenge factor, too. They traded you. Come on.
Yeah, only 5 home runs on the year so far for Suarez, and we're 65-plus games into the season. So I think, obviously the conversation when he was signed here is he going to be pushing 40 home runs, not debatably getting to 20. So he's going to have to turn this around to be a viable piece of this Reds offense, because there's not a lot of guys in that lineup on a day-to-day basis that you can really talk yourself into taking a step and being a significant offensive piece. Now, these guys can be better and be difference makers, but Suarez is one of the only ones that you can circle and say, okay, at his best, he will be a viable bat for a contending team. And there's not a lot of options for that for the Reds, so Suarez needs to step it up soon.
You mentioned he has 3 hits in the last 2 games, so 3 for his last 9. I'm hoping that's starting to turn a page, because before then he was just 1 for his last 22. And so what we have talked about, he has to be that piece in that middle of the lineup, and he's like the power has to come at some point, right? That's where I keep going back to. He's proven it so often in his career that he has the bat, he has the slugging. Why haven't we seen it consistently this season? And
that's the question, because obviously the injury kept him out of the lineup for a while, but he said he was healthy beforehand, and he obviously seems to be healthy now. But I do think some of the extra base hits coming over this recent stretch, though a small sample size, are encouraging. It's not just singles. It's not cheating hits. It's a home run on Wednesday against San Diego. It's a double the day before. He's actually getting solid contact now. Even when he was having success before this injury early in the season, there was a lot of softer contact, singles. And that's not the player Suarez is. Even if he's hitting 250 and it's all singles, that's not what the Reds brought him here for. They brought him here for the run production, the power, and the extra base hits. Hopefully the series in Seattle or in San Diego is going to turn that around for him.
And both of those hits coming in key situations, the double coming in the 10th inning and the home run coming in the 8th inning. So he has to step up in those times too.
Back-to-back games with an RBI for the first time since the opening series against the Red Sox.
Okay, so been a while. Last time I've been to a game in person. The wild thing is you look at it, and everyone looks at the 49 home runs last year. His last season with the Reds, 31 home runs in 2021. And then he goes to Seattle, 31 home runs. Then, and this is what's kind of scary when you look at the back of the baseball card, 2023, played in every game, 162 games, wasn't hurt, 22 home runs for the Mariners, and had 214 strikeouts, led the big leagues with that. Like, you don't want that. And it looked like he turned a corner last year. He had the 49 home runs, 13 after the trade, 36 for the Diamondbacks pre-trade. He's been streaky throughout his career. You're just hoping that he goes on one of these streaks. And if you're the Reds, you need him to. Because if he doesn't, and your rotation doesn't figure it out, and they aren't consistent every single day, this bullpen isn't going to suddenly get great or get solid or get good. Like, even if they make a move, there's still going to be an injured bullpen, one of the worst bullpens in the league. You're just trying to navigate the choppy waters right now. And I think the best path to do that is your rotation steps up, and some of your hitters that you thought were going to be mainstays become mainstays.
What I will say about the concern about Mariner's numbers, if he played that season in Great American, he probably would have close to 40 home runs, 22 home runs in Seattle. They have the 29th park factor in the MLB. The Reds are second. So a huge discrepancy in the...
I need to see it, man.
Absolutely.
He's got 5 home runs.
Oh, trust me, I know. But I'm just saying that production even moved to this stadium would work for me. So got to turn it around. We haven't seen the version of Suarez that we're seeing so far this year very often, if at all, since he left the Reds. And I think that's the concern. Now, is he back? Is he reverting to that form that made the Reds get off of his contract?
We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, with you till 11. Up next, it is time for Contipelli's Countdown, right here on First Word.
You were not getting college. You went to school for drama.
Yes.
Which is, let me tell you what. If any creatives out there who are not actively creating, it makes you go crazy. And I have witnessed firsthand a creative who didn't professionally create and had to take care of so many damn kids and husbands along the way, and it drove you crazy for so long. Now, as a grown woman at this point and been in my career as long as I have so much perspective on your life and how you were in all of your 30s and your 40s. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you created in your home. You made, our homes were beautiful, but I feel like, oh my God, because when I don't create, I go nuts. Like, I go absolutely nuts.
I was busy.
Very busy.
Obviously. I was busy with my children. And
Well, I'll say this. You had 4 kids by the time you were 28. We had a great life.
we did.
Yeah, we had a great life. We weren't the richest, we weren't the smartest, we weren't the anythingest ever. But we had a blast. We had a house, we had a dog, we had a pool, we went to school, we had a bunch of friends.
Thank God I had a rich mother. That helps a lot.
Man, I wonder what that's like. God.
You never know.
I won't. Not at all. Well, so now if you could give me any advice at 40 years old, single girl, what would you say?
Get pregnant. Immediately.
Well, there we go. If anyone's got some
All
strong
official
DNA.
insemination. Just make sure the guy is smart and handsome.
Okay. True.
And oh man, if you look at Turner and you look at where cornerbacks are making, he's going to get paid. Like, if you think he's going to get paid $15 million per year, you're mistaken. He's going to get that first number. That average annual value is going to start with a 2. And on the low end, I think it's going to be like $22 million per year. You're thinking like a 4-year, $88 million extension. And I'm not even sure that gets it done. Depends on the guarantees and the structure and all of those things. DJ Turner has a ton of value. He knows it. The Bengals know it. And how this goes, where this goes, it's going to come down to how close they can get to where he thinks his value will be next year if he plays well this year. Because that cornerback, just the cornerback market in general, is booming. And for good reason. Corners are really valuable. Wide receivers haven't been as valuable as in NFL history as they are right now. That means that cornerback market has started to boom, and you can see it right there.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
It would have been perfect. It is perfect. Always perfect here on First Word. 7 to 11. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, right here on the Crown, live on YouTube. Join the 5,000 plus Cincinnati sports fans that have already hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, it is time for a perfect Contipelli's Countdown.
I love the intro today, James. Thank you so much. James being nice on a Friday, we'll take it.
Perfect.
Well, you know what
Pressure's
else might
on.
be perfect? Sports lineup for the weekend. Bleacher Report put out this post. Is this the greatest sports stretch ever? You've got the World Cup that kicked off yesterday, the Stanley Cup Finals going on this weekend, U.S. men's national team, of course, taking on Paraguay tonight. You have a lot of other deck on deck. Obviously, we've talked about MLB is going to be going on this weekend. College World Series, Knicks, Spurs, White House fight. I mean, just look at this list, guys. Is this the greatest sports stretch ever? I say no. It is not.
You're right, because we're
We're missing football.
I can't believe they tried to drop this tape.
This came up organically. Didn't know it was on Countdown this morning upstairs, and James and I were appalled that this was a suggestion to be the greatest sports stretch of all time. The
Ever.
Stanley Cup and the finals have been awesome. World Cup happens every 4 years. That's great too. But no football? And it's the greatest stretch ever? I'm out.
Honestly, it's not just that. Like, it's just, it's weird that there's no, it might be like the best stretch ever for June. And then I'm like, well, there's been some awesome NBA finals and Stanley Cup. And so it's not. It's really good, but really good and best ever are really, really different. This is a very fine sports stretch that we're excited about. We're a sports show.
I'm gonna watch every single thing listed.
But we're not going to crown him just to crown him just to crown. That's not what we do.
If you want to crown him, then crown him then.
No, I don't want to crown him then. If you want to crown him, then crown him. But this stretch is what we think it is.
I can get on board with it being the greatest stretch in June. Just that argument alone. Maybe not ever, but like.
No, but that's. Yeah. Oh, greatest stretch of this June? Sure.
I'll give you that.
This
We'll
June?
take that.
Absolutely.
I did wonder, is it a top 3 sports stretch of 2026?
That's
think
a
so.
good question. We'll have to come back to that one. Well,
I love how
simmer
they
on
like
it.
College World Series,
Hey.
NCAA track and field.
They were trying. They were trying.
And no mention of St. X Moeller tonight. Get out of here, Bleacher Report.
Actually, that might put it over the edge to be the greatest stretch of all time.
That's way more important than half that stuff.
Well, next up on the
Greatest stretch
countdown, we teased
Greatest
earlier
reach
that Jordan Battle was going to be taking an opportunity to hop in one of the Blue Angels fighter pilot jets, and Joey DiBaradino was able to catch up with Jordan, who had the opportunity of a lifetime earlier this week.
Well, we are joined, of course, by Bengals safety Jordan Battle. Air Jordan for today. Jordan, take us through what a day, what a climb. Hanging out with the Blue Angels in the back seat with Lieutenant Ronnie Haveza. What a day this was for you, man. Walk me through what this flight was like here at Dayton International.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. You know, just getting out here, you know, on the field, you know, having the jitters come out, you know, early. You know, as soon as we went up, Ronnie's talking to me, you know, making sure I'm comfortable, you know, making sure my energy's still there. And after that, you know, he just kind of treated me like I'm his partner, you know, like I was Chris, you know. And it was cool. I told him up there, I said, you know, fly with me like how you would fly with your partners. And he was like, you don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, you're right. Let's not do that. But let's get close, you know. And it was just a fun experience, you know. And if you have the chance to do it, why not?
Air Jordan, I absolutely love it. I love the first-person point of view, too, with whatever GoPro or type camera they had just on Jordan that entire time. He's having so much fun. This is great to see.
I love it. No, this is really cool. What an honor. What an opportunity. I'm glad he took advantage of it because it's something he's going to remember forever. And, yeah, I can't wait to chat with Jordan about this at some point. But really cool that Joey was able to catch up with him in Dayton. And, yeah, look at that. You're right. The camera makes it. Mm-hmm. Look at this. This is so funny. Oh boy. Yeah, get that breathing down.
If we ever get that third leg of the Top Gun trilogy, I think Jordan Battle would be great with Miles Teller and Tom Cruise.
I think he's far closer to starring in Top Gun 3 than this stretch is to being the best sports.
I agree. I agree.
So yes, I'm Team Jordan.
You know who we could have direct Top Gun 3 with Jordan Battle? Ben Stiller, because Ben Stiller is doing work here during the Knicks series. He has been working on an HBO documentary about the Knicks shot entirely on his iPhone. I am just so intrigued, so interested to see. I have so many questions. How is this going to turn out? What is this going to look like? What's the storyline? This is phenomenal. I love this.
I can't wait. As soon as these games have ended throughout the NBA Finals, I've ran to Twitter, looked up Ben Stiller's handle, and watched whatever videos he's posted for the last possessions. These have been really, really cool. He's one of the best directors out right now, and for him to be viewing some of the coolest sports moments of his life through his own lens, I think is a really cool thing to do.
Really need the Knicks to win and handle business in the finals because it's going to make this that much better, that much cooler. I hope it happens. What a vantage point for OG's insane, the tip-in. And then as you see there, because he obviously got the tip-in, as you see there, the ensuing possession, the defensive stop, to just complete the best comeback in NBA Finals history, arguably NBA history. If they win the title, that's going to be a huge moment.
Doc's better if they win in 6, right?
Win
it in New York.
I don't think it matters. You just got to win it. We
cool
put
to win at home.
I get that. Guess what? That champagne's still gonna taste good in San Antonio, baby.
That's true.
That trophy's still there, man. Champagne tastes good anywhere if you're a champion.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome to see. Something else that was awesome to see, we're going back to our guy Joey, who was at the Dayton Dragons game, and a familiar face in the dugout right there, Ellie De La Cruz, checking in with some of the ball players down there in Dayton. And I love to see this. Not only Reds had the off day, Ellie's obviously working to get back on the field himself, but just going out of his way to check in with some of the younger guys and just be in that dugout just speaks volumes to his character. I love it.
I think organizational relationships are one of the most underrated things in baseball. The stars of the major league team working with the guys in the minor league teams is a huge thing. And the Reds have done a great job of marrying their minor leagues with their major league club over the last few years. Some of the most recognizable minor league brands throughout the Reds system. And it's great to see Ellie back at Dayton where he had so much success as a player.
Yeah, I love it. 1, 2, rehab start? I'm just kidding. He would have put up numbers, though, in Dayton.
Throw the Dragon fans a bone. They sell out that stadium every game. Give him a rehab start.
I would be okay with him going out there and swinging, and then I'll run for you. Let's do that. Or have somebody run for you. Just Jordan Battle, he was in Dayton, he can run for you. But you're not running with a hamstring in single A.
You're letting me think about a lineup with Ellie De La Cruz and Alfredo Duno in it. Getting me excited.
That dog.
Well, I wonder if Ellie just being in the dugout there maybe rubbed off on some of the guys because the Dragons had a walk-off on yesterday, and it wasn't via home run. It wasn't a walk-off single. It was a steal of home plate key and view. Are you kidding me? I think this took a page out of Ellie's handbook right here.
Unbelievable. I saw this play before I saw that Ellie was in the dugout, and it all made sense. I mean, this is a stereotypical Ellie De La Cruz play. Stealing a run to win a game, reading something that no one else would see. What a play by Vu. Unbelievable to win a game like that. I mean, that has to be one of the coolest possible ways to win a baseball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And 1, I love the aggressiveness. You're right. Maybe Ellie did rub off on them. But 2, it's probably the best way.
You're probably right.
I don't know if there's a better way to win a baseball, like in walk-off fashion.
I'll never forget when the Reds balked it off.
You see, but you see that fine. You see walk-off home runs, singles, errors. This is obviously game-winning strikeouts that end the game. All those things. This is
unbelievable.
Just different, and it's something I'll remember for a long time. And the feeling of stealing a base is a lot of fun. Doing that, stealing home. How many people steal home ever? And you did it to win the game.
To go for it 90 feet away in a tie game in the 9th, what a risk. I mean, that is quite the conversation with the Dragons manager if he gets out there and potentially cost the Dragons the game. Instead, it's a different conversation, potentially the best play in Dragons history.
I love being aggressive on the base paths. Shocker. Aggressiveness it wins. So yeah.
Does that count as offense?
Oh yeah, runs are offense, baby. Yes, they are.
We have plenty of more Reds and baseball talk to get to here on First Word, including coming up next. What's the word? We need to revisit our poll question of the day as the Reds get set to take on a big series against the Diamondbacks at Great American Ballpark. Lots more to come your way. We're with you until 11 o'clock right here on The Crown.
Sometimes people misconstrue what an explanation and an excuse. Because a big explanation to why the Reds are underperforming this year are the injuries.
Sure,
There's
absolutely.
no doubt about it. And people say, oh, that's just a crutch, that's an excuse. No, that's part of the explanation why this team is not playing well. And I think as fans and people who watch the game and people who talk about the game like we do, I think sometimes we take this pie and we try to slice it up and say, who does the big piece of pie of blame go to? And everybody wants to do Nick Kroll and the Reds front office at all. At what point does a big slice, and I mean a really big slice, have to go to players who have just underperformed? Because I think if we laid out, guys, the Reds' top 10 players, and everybody would have it a little bit different, but I think 8 or 9 of the Reds' top 10 players, we would all agree are pretty much the same on everybody's lists. I think at least half, if not more than half, have underperformed this year.
Or are hurt.
Or hurt.
Yes.
Or both.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals had a linebacker. Have you heard anything linebacker-wise, free agent-wise, of them being interested, or are they just really comfortable with Demetrius Knight, Barrett Carter, and what they have in that room?
I mean, I could see them adding. This is a time of year that's tricky. There's not a lot of free agency movement. Because it's in May and June, you kind of want to see what your young guys can do, see what you have, and then if you realize, oh, wow, these guys can't play, then you go sign somebody. Or if you say, oh, we might have something there. Like the Chiefs are a good example. They could use some receiver help, I would say. But, you got a young guy like Jalen Royals who looks pretty good. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can roll with this or at least go into camp and see what we have. So I could see Cincinnati adding a linebacker. I mean, hey, Jermaine Pratt's still out there. He was a good player for them. I could see him going back to the Colts where he was with Lou Anarumo and those guys, or maybe Cincinnati wants to entertain that. I know it didn't end the best, so maybe that's not the best route. You got Matt Milano still out there. The problem with the linebackers is it's a lot of aging players. So I think the teams that want to make a big-time upgrade would look at a trade, and there aren't teams really eager to give up like a Jordan Brooks in Miami unless you're giving up major capital. So for the Bengals' taste, especially with giving up the first for Dexter Lawrence, I don't know that they would make another big swing for a trade right now. So we'll see, but it depends on your level of desperation. So we'll see how they feel coming out of minicamp. And it wouldn't shock me, certainly, but nothing's on my radar right now for that.
Welcome back to First Word. Look at Ben Baby on that monitor. If you missed our interview with Ben Baby, what? Yeah, he's right there.
I know our viewers can't see that.
That's okay. It's all right.
there.
If you missed our interview with Ben Baby, he's right there
That's
on
our preview
YouTube.
monitor.
All you have to do is check out First Word on YouTube, type it in, hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to check out Ben Baby, Orlando Brown Jr., Ted Karras, plenty of our other guests. Steve Radicevic, that went one-on-one with Marisa. She asked the tough questions. Plenty there.
Every time he says about your spotlights, Marisa went one-on-one. In my head, you guys are playing basketball. Like I don't. Every time.
Love that's for.
Is she winning or losing?
I mean, I think she put up a decent fight. I think the size is a
not
struggle.
in her basketball.
Not basketball.
Not basketball.
Okay,
Nope.
well, you play every other sport
was-
under the sun. So
I was a swimmer in the winter months,
Gotcha,
year round, but
gotcha.
like
You were
mostly
a
in the winter.
swimmer?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know she swam.
did the USA circuit for a little bit. Not very
that's
good,
right.
but like
I did know that. I forget everything you guys say.
thanks.
We don't. We keep track of what you say.
I forget everything they say. My
Pete and
goodness.
Rapien. If you missed it, go check our YouTube channel.
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's. It all starts there. It all starts on the YouTube channel. A lot of you have already hit that subscribe button, so please do. And let's keep it rolling here. Ben looks like he's praying on that monitor right now. Anyways, I'm just talking to you two. It's okay. Check out that clip of Ben again, coming up in a bit. But let's revisit the poll question of the day. And this poll question is very, very simple as we continue Reds. Will the Reds find a way to snap their losing streak? They've lost 7 of 9, including 4 straight series. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Will they end the streak against the Diamondbacks at Great American Ballpark this weekend? 68.3% of you say no. Marisa Contipelli is going to be bad luck and the streak is going to continue. 31.7% say yes. Jacob Tissot is going to be good luck and they'll get it done.
Who has a better record between the two of us?
Jacob.
I think me.
What? No.
She hasn't.
I only have like 2 losses on the year.
Oh yeah, because you don't go to games anymore.
Wow, that is just wildly untrue.
You know why?
Oh yeah, tell us why, James.
Vacation.
That's right.
It's like a vacation.
No, there's some minimum
Launch
games played
week.
for the winning percentage to count.
Launch week, the Reds, it's a vacation. But hey, guess what? They're making it work this weekend. All right. Do you guys, how confident are you that they snap the streak? We've talked about it multiple times throughout the show. Lodolo tonight, Louder tomorrow, Abbott Sunday. I remembered Abbott this time. All-Star Abbott. Confidence level. Let's rank those 3 in order. Who you're most confident in, least confident in. I'll go first. Abbott, Lodolo, Louder.
I'm going Sunday to Friday.
I'm with you. Yes.
Sunday
Abbott,
to
Lodolo, Louder. You're more confident in Louder than
Louder
Lodolo?
over Lodolo?
Yeah, I think
What?
Lodolo and Louder are about the same for me in terms of confidence level. Louder's is a control. Lodolo's allowing home runs. It's all a wash for me in terms of the confidence I have in the two of them. Louder's 3-3 with a 5 ERA. Lodolo's 2-1 with a 5.5 ERA. They're pretty similar pitchers in my mind. Both have much higher ceilings than we've seen from them so far this year. The reason I have a little bit more confidence in Louder being able to get the Reds to a win in that game is because I have a little bit less confidence in Michael Sirota than Eduardo Rodriguez, so I think that comes into it as well. But in my mind, Lodolo and Louder are pretty close to a wash in terms of my confidence level in the two of them. And I'm not saying that negatively necessarily right now. I think before the season, my confidence in them could have been pretty close as well, just probably on the other side of the spectrum when Louder was having a 1.1 ERA through his first 8 starts in the majors. So I think those two are pretty good, pitchers when they're on and have had their struggles so far this year. Abbott takes the cake with what we've seen from him for about the last month and a half.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question about that when Abbott should be first for all 3 of us and all of you at home as well. I am confident, though, that they do take the series. I know the majority of you on X and socials disagree with that, but I feel like whether it's Lodolo or Louder, I'm thinking it's going to be Lodolo here tonight. I just don't see a world where they're going to drop another series, drop 2 out of 3 to an Arizona team that's been struggling. And yes, I know I said that exactly about San Diego, and we've said that about some other series in the past too.
You thought it about the Royals when you were on vacation?
I did. But I don't know, there's something, the fact that they're coming back at home, it's just, I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, they need. Not a want, it would be ideal if need. They're 32 and 35. If we're coming back on Monday and they're 33 and 37, and now they're 4 games under 500. Let's just say they win 1 of the 3. You guys are going to still say they're going to make the playoffs, and you're going to do your whole 4.5 back of the wild card or whatever they'll be. But man, it's going to feel rough. Like at some point,
it'll feel different.
It feels rough now, James.
You're the one. Hey, you're Mr. They have a playoff. The
They
playoff
have a
belief.
chance. They have a chance.
What if we're sitting here Monday and they're 500?
There we go.
That'll feel different too.
It'll feel a lot different. That'll feel a lot different. And
we'll stop talking about that wild card. Get back in the division.
Well, pump the brakes.
No. I want them to get back into the wild card conversation.
They are in the wild card conversation.
No, they're not.
They're 3 games back.
If you're 3 games
June.
back, you're in the wild card conversation.
No, you're not. They're playing worse than all but like 2 teams in the big leagues right now. Maybe 3.
That's my point. They're not playing very well, and they're still in the wild card race.
If you're 5 or less games back from the wild card, you're in the wild card conversation.
So 5 is the number for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have a clip of you saying that they're out of the Central.
They were out of the Central before the season started.
Oh my God.
The Brewers and the Cubs records are so much better.
See,
that's ridiculous.
He just
That's
completely.
absurd.
We talked about this before
I
opening
know, and
day.
it was ridiculous then. It was
It's
ridiculous.
always the wild card.
Fair. That's fine. The hope that it was always the wild card. Make a move. The point of the whole thing here, it's a big weekend for the Cincinnati Reds. Well, obviously, have you covered? We have more Reds on the way, but up next, buy or sell Bengals edition. You're not going to want to miss it. Next, right here on First Word.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Well, the Bengals had a linebacker. Have you heard anything linebacker-wise, free agent-wise, of them being interested, or are they just really comfortable with Demetrius Knight, Barrett Carter, and what they have in that room?
I mean, I could see them adding. This is a time of year that's tricky. There's not a lot of free agency movement. Because it's in May and June, you kind of want to see what your young guys can do, see what you have, and then if you realize, oh wow, these guys can't play, then you go sign somebody, or if you say, oh, we might have something there. Like the Chiefs are a good example. They could use some receiver help, I would say. But, you got a young guy like Jalen Royals who looks pretty good. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can roll with this or at least go into camp and see what we have. So I could see Cincinnati adding a linebacker. I mean, hey, Jermaine Pratt's still out there. He was a good player for them. I could see him going back to the Colts where he was with Lou Anarumo and those guys, or maybe Cincinnati wants to entertain that. I know it didn't end the best, so maybe that's not the best route. You got Matt Milano still out there. The problem with the linebackers is it's a lot of aging players. So I think the teams that want to make a big time upgrade would look at a trade, and there aren't teams really eager to give up like a Jordan Brooks in Miami unless you're giving up major capital. So for the Bengals' taste, especially with giving up the first for Dexter Lawrence, I don't know that they would make another big swing for a trade right now. So we'll see, but it depends on your level of desperation. So we'll see how they feel coming out of minicamp. And it wouldn't shock me, certainly, but nothing's on my radar right now for that.
In the room.
Prediction time.
Okay.
Does DJ get paid before the start of the regular season?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you have to. I think you kind of have to. If you're going to do all of this work, all this construction on this roster to change everything, why would you not, flip over that last stone and get that thing done? That has to be done. That, to me, was one of the priorities of the offseason. They've gone above and beyond all the other priorities of trying to fix this defense. Now that you've added all these pieces to make it better, there's this one thing that's saying, fix me, take care of me. Take care of that, and I think you've had a winning offseason. It's already been. You've got the team and the defense right now to go out there and get to where you want to go. But you still have to take care of
Welcome to First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show, breaking down the biggest moments and the stories shaping Cincinnati sports with analysis that cuts through. First Word, setting the agenda in Cincinnati sports.
Fired up on a Friday. Welcome in to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Tissot and Marisa Contipelli. Get that counter going, baby. We fired up.
I'm kind of afraid of what we've started.
I don't like it.
We're fired up.
I don't know if we got this through.
Yeah, this might backfire.
Might backfire because we fired up.
If you're not sure what we're talking about, just go ahead over to our social channels.
Oh, yeah. At First Word Cincy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube and check us out live on Mixlr if you want to listen live. And if you missed the show, well, that's fine. I already mentioned YouTube. We're streaming on X, streaming on Facebook, also on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network every single day. And then you can listen to us in audio form on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. I like that Google Podcast. Also, as you're looking there, the Working Lunch with Jack Crumley every single day, noon to 1. Get caught up on everything you need to know from a business standpoint. And then check out the shenanigans that Nat Tries That has going on. And then cap things off with the little rebound rundown with Paul Fritchner. Bam.
It's a fantastic lineup.
Where else do you even need to go?
Nowhere.
Everything.
Everything.
Got it all covered.
And it starts with the First Word every single weekday. First Word right here, 7 to 11 on the Crown. Let's dive into the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals, let's be honest here. Linebacker is a need. It's been a need. It felt like a need all last season, all last offseason for that matter. They go into the draft. They take 2 linebackers. Still felt like a need. Logan Wilson doesn't work out. They trade him. Well, it's still a need. ESPN's Ben Baby has pushed back on that narrative. He joined us earlier this week. This entire thing is on our YouTube channel. But a clip of Ben Baby explaining what the Bengals are doing at linebacker.
When you look at what the Bengals did, the money that they spent on linebacker traditionally is not something they go. I think Logan Wilson was the most they'd ever paid. I think that APY was less than $10 million a year. And you look at the resources that they put into that room. They got Barrett Carter last year, and then they got Demetrius Knight. And I think this is the issue, is that by using the second-round pick on Knight, you knew that he was going to stay. Barrett Carter, you go on, and especially as things got bad last year, you saw him kind of really grow into a leader, start to find his footing. I would not be shocked if we see Barrett Carter as a captain this year because of kind of the voice that he has with those young guys, and you could feel that energy. So I think you don't really want to disrupt that as much as possible, and you want those guys to grow. And last year, if we're being honest, was more of a soft rebuild for that defense. The second they went from Logan Wilson to Barrett Carter, it was with the understanding that they want to go out and kind of build those reps, bank those reps, so that hopefully in the future that can be a really good tandem for them.
Ben Baby dropping a take, an opinion, and I think it's I think it's half true. I think the Bengals really do believe in these guys. I also think they were far more in on linebacker, and he knows how I feel about this. I'm not talking behind his back. Far more in on linebacker than he leads us to believe or believes. You can believe in something and think that the young guys can come along. You can also want to address it. The bottom line is, though, they have not addressed it, and I think that's where we need to go now in our buy or sell. Buy or sell that Barrett Carter, who clearly Ben is high on, clearly the Bengals are high on because they have not addressed linebacker, that Barrett Carter will be a captain on this defense this year. And, we will see what you guys think. Flip over.
I'm smirking because, again, it's the side of the desk that we are just
It's weird that this
aligned.
happens. I'll tell you why I'll buy it. And this is where the half-true comes with Ben. Like, just because they believe in Barrett Carter doesn't mean they didn't want Devin Lloyd, right? For example. But they didn't get Devin Lloyd. Like, they didn't draft Jacob Rodriguez because they didn't think Jacob Rodriguez was as good as Cassius Howell, not because they didn't want a linebacker. Like, sometimes it's that black and white and that clear cut, and this is. The reason why I'm buying this, the Bengals, when they benched Logan Wilson last year, which cost them it probably cost them the Jets game. Like, it would not shock me at all if that's the case. Logan Wilson probably makes one more play than Barrett does. Hurt them against Green Bay, hurt them in that key stretch of the season. They did that because they thought that he could become a leader and could develop and be that guy. And the thing that I love that Barrett and Demetrius both did last year, they always talked after games. They were always willing to talk, always willing to face the music. Well, that's something that a leader does. If his play steps up to that, like reflects that, I think all the other stuff is already done. I think he's going to be a leader. I think he's going to carry himself the right way, all of those things. So as long as he's good enough as a player, he's going to wear the green dot. I could totally see him being a captain. So I buy the path to it. I wouldn't put him as like one of the favorites because I think Dexter Lawrence and some of these other guys, and that's what makes it tough. And so that I'm probably stepping on why you guys are selling it. There are a lot of new defenders in those on that defense that is going to take the cake here.
And that have worn C's before.
Exactly, and that's I completely agree with you that he is a leader of this locker room. You could see it, at times last year, but I'm selling it because I don't see him stepping into that role this year. Beyond that, absolutely could 100% see him becoming a captain on this defense. But typically the Bengals roll with 3 captains on offense, 3 captains on defense. Last year, B.J. Hill was a captain. It's very rare for players to not be voted back as a captain if they're still with this team. So I would fully expect BJ to be voted captain once again. And then for me, it's going to be Dexter Lawrence and Brian Cook. I don't see a world where both of those guys aren't captains on this defense. They were brought in not only for their on-field play, but that leadership that they bring. So I think Barrett might be kind of on the outside looking in. Not that he's not going to be a leader on this defense and on this team. I just don't think he'll be wearing a captaincy this season.
The leadership aspect for Barrett Carter was one of my favorite things when the Bengals took him, and it shined through the struggles last year he had when playing linebacker. Obviously, it wasn't the best on the field all year long, but like you said, every time he was there talking to the media, ready to face the music, and that's great for a young player. And I do believe that he can take steps. He's an insane athlete that has shown high production at the highest level of college football at Clemson, competing for national championships under Dabo Swinney. So I absolutely believe in Barrett Carter and the steps he can take. But exactly what Marisa said just there is why I have a really hard time finding a path to him being a captain this year. I think Dexter Lawrence and Brian Cook have that taken care of from the new additions. And like you said, BJ was last year. So obviously the offense is going to have some captains. We're not going to have the whole defense be captained up this year. So I think Barrett Carter can absolutely take steps. And the fact that he's entering into this conversation even just a little bit this offseason, maybe it's louder next year or even the year after that. I think this is certainly something that could be in the future, even the near future for Barrett Carter. I just don't think it's going to be this season.
And it'll be interesting to see how that does play, after this season, because he will have a full season of having the green dot on his helmet and having that responsibility on the field.
Yeah, that's where, to me, if he goes out there and he's running the show, you could totally see him. I could see him supplanting one of these other veterans for that and for that captaincy. Is it going to be hard? It is. And it's a matter of him leading by example and being what the coaching staff thought he was last year and why they turned to him, and then playing at a high level. And if he does, then that's, by the way, a great sign of things to come for this defense, because it means that the Dexter Lawrences believe, that Demetrius Knight believe, that there's buy-in around him. So we will see there. Let's continue buy or sell here. Let's stick with the Bengals linebackers. Buy or sell that Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter will be Cincinnati's Week 1 starters at linebacker.
Look at that.
A clean sweep. Yeah, we can get the broom out.
It's been sitting over there for a while.
If they were going to add Bobby Wagner to start, I think they would have done it by now.
Correct.
I hope that's not the case.
I agree. I would add him today.
That is a good point.
If you're Bobby Wagner, you're 36-year-old Bobby Wagner, are you even considering the Bengals if they're not willing to say, hey, you're going to come here and start?
No. I'm not, if I'm Bobby.
Starting outweighs the possibility for going to get a Super Bowl. I think it depends what other teams are out there that he could start on that would also still be a contender.
I would assume he retires without getting a starting job.
Really?
Yes.
I think I agree with that.
I don't think
or just waits for an injury.
He's 35. He could get signed week 4 and start somewhere if someone gets hurt. I just don't think at this age he's going to, obviously I don't know for sure, but at this age he's going to suit up to battle with Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight to start on the field. He was good last year, and that's part of the conversation about how bad we want Bobby Wagner here, at least on this side of the desk, is that he was good last year in Washington. He put up good numbers, and he's lost a step in coverage, and all of that is absolutely true at the age he's at now, but he was one of the best tacklers in the league last year, and so much conversation about this Bengals defense, was the lack of tackling. I think Bobby Wagner would absolutely fix that. But something James brought up a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the linebacker position that really resonated with me was we've been likening adding a linebacker that could still start to the Dalton Risner signing a few years ago. But the big difference there is the Bengals addressed guard earlier in that offseason. They signed Lucas Patrick, and they haven't really made a swing of any level, much less a Bobby Wagner level swing at linebacker, even in the draft. Swayze Bozeman's the only guy they added to that room this offseason. And I just think if they viewed that linebacker room with Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight the same way we talk about it at the desk and everyone in the fan base talks about it around Cincinnati, then they would have made an addition by now. I think they are behind Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight, and I think part of that is because of what Ben Baby said when he was in here in studio. They both played 73% of the defensive snaps last year. It feels like a complete waste of about 1,500 snaps between the two of them if you don't give them another shot to grow their sophomore year. So the conversation's hard because the Bengals are supposed to be contenders, but they were also the only team starting 2 rookie linebackers last year, and growing pains were part of that process.
Ben said it perfectly in our conversation. He was like, what was the point of last season and putting them out there as much as they did if you're not going to move forward with them and their growth and development? And I completely understand that, and I get that side. I just worry about the depth in that room, and heaven forbid an injury hits one of these guys. Where are you at then?
Absolutely.
Oren Burks coming in, there's no one else in that room.
That's the concern.
Totally agree, one. 2, I think their approach was, if we can get a 3-down awesome player that Quay Walker, I think they were in on Quay Walker, just to give you an idea. He signed a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Raiders. Devin Lloyd, 3 years, $45 million, which was under market with the Panthers. If they could get a guy like that, great, but they're not going to get mid-tier premium money and give Leo Chenal $8 million, even though Knight and Carter are still going to be playing a ton. And so I think that's it. So I think there were a few guys that they were like, all right, let's go upgrade that room. And then after that, it was like, okay, that's it. In the draft, it was one of these Ohio State defenders or Reuben Bain, right? And then obviously they trade for Dexter Lawrence, and that goes out the door. But I think they were in on Sonny Styles, like the linebacker, and playing him at linebacker and letting him go do linebacker things right away. But after that, were they like, oh, well, Jacob Rodriguez is way better than Barrett Carter? I didn't think they felt that way. And not that they didn't think he was a better prospect, but I think they had second-round grades on Jacob Rodriguez and Barrett Carter, just to give you an idea of where they had Carter a year ago.
Yeah.
And so from that logic, yeah, you don't want to add to the room again just to add to it. You do want to upgrade it. I wonder if they feel, and I know this is takey, I wonder if they feel like Bobby Wagner is even an upgrade from what they have. The numbers would say he is. So and obviously history would say he is as well.
Well, to be fair, if that is the take, there would be a general assumption that Bobby Wagner would regress this year and Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight will progress. Now, how far either of those fall or rise, no one knows yet, but it is bad timing, if you will, to bring in a veteran linebacker with 2 guys who are supposed to take a massive step this year. And I think part of the Bengals process here in the draft, at least maybe, was we tried 2 rookie linebackers last year, and it was so hard through the beginning part of that process. Came together a little bit towards the end of the year and certainly showed some flashes. But starting 2 rookie linebackers was a tough watch at times for this Bengals defense. Yep. Were they ready to do that again this year with a Jacob Rodriguez or a Jake Golday? We talked a lot about potential linebacker prospects for the Bengals, and I just don't know if they wanted to do rookie linebackers again, which honestly, after how last year went, I don't know how much I can blame them. So I think running these 2 back out with the help that's been added around them on the defensive side of the ball for the Bengals can, in a way, increase the linebacker play as well.
Ultimately, everything needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
And I think they realized they couldn't fix everything.
Or if you could, you don't fix it well.
In 2 days into free agency, for sure. In 2 days into free agency, they said, if we can get Jonathan Allen, that's better than Leo Chenal. In the moment, that's a tough one. Now that you have Dexter, it feels much different. Because now you have Allen, you have all these waves defensive front-wise, and going into this offseason, the one thing on defense they had to fix. No more Geno Stone, way better defensive front. Mission accomplished. We will continue the Bengals conversation. We have some important dates to get to. Yes, some breaking news. Dates you don't have. We will get to that next right here on First Word.
My name is Jacob Tissot, and I'm a co-host of First Word from 7 to 11 every morning right here on the Crown Network, where we will break down the biggest stories in Cincinnati sports. I'm a graduate of the University of Alabama, where I spent 4 seasons working for the football team as a student assistant, contributing to the 2020 National Championship and 3 SEC championships. I'm a Cincinnati native, a St. Xavier High School graduate, and will bring a local perspective and passion to covering the Bengals, Reds, and everything in between. I'm excited to have you join us on First Word.
If that's the plan, I would understand it. I'm not sure it is. They may be viewing it as, we got to get to Hunter Greenland, and then we'll
Hunter
address
Green
it.
changes a lot of things if he comes back and he's Hunter Green.
And so that's it. Because if you're saying Chase Burns is starting every other because of the innings limit, and you have Hunter Green, well, it feels much different. Every Burns start right now feels insanely important because you know that you're going to get a good start. And at some point, maybe that changes, but it is felt locked down. Like we were talking about cornerbacks, it feels locked down from a starter perspective that he's going to pitch well for you. So if you get that until Hunter Green comes back, and then you go every other, and Rhett Lauder's ready to go, and maybe Brady Singer starts singing. And well, you think about it, and you look at it, like Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott, they've started to come on. Abbott had a great month of May, fought through it yesterday, still good enough. And then Lodolo might have a swag back. It might
certainly
be back.
looks that way.
Don't look yet all the way. Maybe leave one eye. But if that's the case, now suddenly that rotation is a strength. And Burns helped keep you above water, and now you can dial it back some.
Absolutely.
Keep him safe. Like that, I assume that's their plan. But man, that means that Lauder, need to see you Sunday. Pitched well yesterday. Five innings, no walks, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts in
70
AAA
pitches,
Louisville.
50 strikes.
It's good.
Pounding the zone.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's good.
Unreal.
I
He
thought you
doesn't
were
throw it like that.
I thought you were questioning.
Unbelievable.
And that was something pre-injury that we were noticing early in games.
Lose
was
the command.
Yes. So hopefully Lauder comes back. Hopefully Burns pitches well if he's on the mound. And hopefully that's their plan. I think I just solved it.
Hi, my name is Natalie Jones, a Cincinnati native, and I have been in media for about 10 years now. Formerly on the radio here in Cincinnati, I grew my love and obsession with finding all things fun in Cincinnati and have now made it my life. I'm originally from the west side here, and then I've pretty much been a downtown girl ever since college. But I did leave for 7 years, and during that time, I really grew and harnessed and cut my teeth doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, learning how to ski in Colorado, and now I'm back here in Cincinnati, driven by curiosity and grounded by family.
Every morning, Cincinnati wakes up and gets to work. Companies are built, deals are made, restaurants open, ideas become careers, and every day the people behind it all sit down at the working lunch. Founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, the people building Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays, noon to 1, only on The Crown.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Bengals training camp dates are here. Welcome back to First Word. I'm James Rapien alongside Jacob Tissot, Marisa Contipelli. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11.
Always open.
Right here on The Crown. What was that? That didn't even sound confident. Not confident. Always open right here on The Crown.
Always open.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
That's a tease because we're going to talk about Eric Hall coming up in a minute. But first, we have the training.
That was planned.
Oh, it was not planned, but I got you. Yeah, I got you. Hey, I got you. Fired up Friday. Count it. Another one. Was it 7?
I think we might be high. We stopped counting.
Oh.
When it's our bit, it's fun. When it's your bit, we're out.
Yeah.
Instantly change.
Yeah.
Repeat and repeat. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's repeat this.
It's funnier when you don't realize you're doing it.
I mean, when I don't realize you're counting. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
Do you?
I know what I'm doing. Clip it. Let's dive into the Bengals training camp dates. They just announced them, and it's late this year. How about this? Mock Turtle Soup is going to be on that Monday. I don't know that for sure, but usually it's the Monday right before everything starts. And then Wednesday, the 29th of July, open to the public. That sun is going to fire down on you on the 29th and the 30th. I know camp gets you tough right away. 29th and the 30th going to be bright, sunny. It's going to be hot. And then the next public date is the 3rd and the 4th. They're off on my birthday, the 5th. I appreciate that.
That's very nice.
Just
Very
for
kind
you.
of them. Yeah.
This never happens. I think I've worked on my birthday probably every day, every birthday, and I will this year, of course, on First Word, 7 to 11.
Well, I think these are just the dates of practice being open
To the public.
Yes, I say we'll still have other media
Oh,
and other
that's
practices
true.
thrown in there, so you.
That's
might
true.
be
Wednesday's
for your
probably
birthday.
not. No, but that's true. Normally they do those first 4. I bet you they practice 29th, 30th, 31st, and 1st.
Probably.
They're off Sunday. They probably then 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1
So
off.
you might work out.
2 on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they practice the 9th and 10th. Anyways, there you go. You get your dates in there as far as training camp goes. Which ones are you going to?
Probably the first.
Are you
probably
a big?
Most of them.
Yeah, I was going to say. How often have you been at training camp?
A lot. Almost every year.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Never saw you.
You're over there.
You didn't say hi?
I didn't know you.
Come on, you should have said hi.
Yeah, most years. Most years
people
I
say
go to
hi.
training camp.
Thanks,
most
Jacob. Appreciate
practices
that.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's one of my favorite things about the Bengals offseason is going down to training camp. I don't know for sure if there's a hotter place in Cincinnati than those bleachers in the middle of a training camp practice, but
I totally believe that.
it is a sauna, but it's a blast, and I always love it. So I'll absolutely be down there for a couple of them.
Yeah, I think standing makes it far worse. I would almost rather be participating.
Yes. Oh, participating. Okay.
Standing.
Yeah,
well, no,
yeah.
because you're standing in it and you're like.
I thought the other option was like sitting.
No,
No, standing, sitting, being in it, in like as a statue.
Right.
There, not being able to go anywhere. Just pain.
For sure.
Much rather to be moving.
Yeah, this is going to be, one of the first years I'm not going to have a huge camera on my shoulder filming training camp practice. So it's going to be nice because it gets really hot and it's very,
Us complaining about standing there and then she's like.
I'm standing with a
So we're
with a
going to
40-pound
watch.
camera.
She's filming. What are you gonna do?
Hey, maybe that's why she took vacation.
That's right.
Let's dive into expectations for Eric All. Eric All is someone the Bengals are banking on. He missed all of last season with a torn ACL, but he's back. He's practicing with the team, and Zach Taylor is optimistic about All's recovery.
Yeah, it's challenging, to have the significance of the injuries that he's had, to miss a whole season, an extra season, really, half of the first one and then the whole second one. So I know it's been challenging for him. I think he's handled it really well. Now we're in the progression phase, getting back on the field, no contact or anything right now. We'll assess training camp as we get closer, but it's just been really good to get him on the field, have him back in the walkthroughs. I think mentally for him, that's probably been really helpful for him, just not standing over there doing the rehab phase of things. But he's got an attitude that you just love, and he loves football. That's very clear. He's very passionate about it. So to be able to get him back out there working with the guys has been big for all of us. He loves football, and he loves the physical portion of football. And that's the word physical in the dictionary is a picture of Eric Hall trying to put his face through somebody's soul. And that's the best way I can describe him.
The Bengals need him to be physical. The Bengals need him to be out there on the field to block, catch, run. He can do it all, pun intended. And that's why if he's healthy, could be a difference maker for this offense.
Absolutely, and this is something the Bengals really need. And I think tight end flies under the radar of team needs because of what Mike Gesicki's been able to do and the extension that he got last or 2 off seasons ago. And it's been great, and obviously he's been an awesome addition here. But Mike Gesicki, for all intents and purposes, is a really good wide receiver. And Drew Sample's been a phenomenal blocker, but the Bengals have struggled to find someone that can do both. And
why can't he be an offensive tackle? Everyone calls Gesicki a wide receiver. Why can't Sam a fullback something?
Yes.
Give him
He's
some
a tackle.
Give him some
H-back.
kind of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone does that with Gesicki. He's basically a wide receiver, and Drew Sample can block. I do it too.
He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league.
Let's give him let's give him something. He's basically a, Patrick Ricard or something. I don't know. Let's give him some kind of praise.
We can go with basically Patrick Ricard. What was he, 80 pounds lighter than that?
No.
What's Ricard, 315?
Ricard, the fullback?
Yeah.
No, I hope he's not 3.
I guarantee you.
Please look this
he's
up.
300 pounds.
No chance. What are we doing? No chance.
I promise.
You're 50 pounds off minimum, but
No.
he's 70 pounds off.
I spelled his name wrong.
Why is it taking you so long?
I spelled his name wrong.
Very wrong.
300 pounds. 6'3", 300 pounds.
Okay, you said, what did you say?
I thought 315.
Yeah, I think they're rounding
He got
up.
drafted as a defensive lineman. in
I think they're
Baltimore.
rounding up. I think he's like 280.
Okay.
All right,
You have the number and he still doesn't believe you.
Drew Sample's
Now
like,
what can I do?
Drew Sample's like 260.
Well, if you disagree with this listing, how can I argue?
Yeah.
What do I do now? I looked it up.
I'm shocked he's 300. Yeah, whiteboard. Let's go to the whiteboards
How
here.
much do you think Pat Ricard weighs?
Is Drew Sample an offensive lineman? Yes,
Yes.
or no? Okay. No, but I do find that interesting before we dive into these predictions for Eric All. They've had guys that can do this or that.
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst, catch. Drew Sample, block. And it's been that, and they've complemented each other well. The 9 games they had Eric All as a rookie, early on, he's like, oh, he could matter. And he was starting to come on, and then he tears his ACL. If he's right, and I think he's optimistic that he's going to be right, does he start? Like, I think he could have a huge role for them, especially if they view Mike Gesicki as a wide receiver and Drew Sample as a Patrick Ricard light. There we go. Light. L-I-G-H-T. There.
L-I-T-E.
No, but he's lighter.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That'd be great. I mean, I think that's what the Bengals need to round out that room is one of these guys. And All's not the only one throwing his hat in the ring to do this. The Bengals recognize this need and maybe hedge the bet on All's recovery from another ACL tear by drafting Jack Endries late in the draft, another do-it-all tight end from Texas. So this is something that they went into this offseason knowing that they had to add. And hopefully All can be that, because when they took Eric All, it was a surprise that he was still on the board. He's a prospect coming out of Iowa at that time, previously at Michigan, that would have went much, much higher had he not been hurt. So I've been a huge Eric All fan ever since that card got turned in on draft night, and I'm really, really excited to see him healthy this season and hopefully making a big-time impact.
Yeah, we talked about how can the Bengals elevate this offense. I think Eric All could be one of the answers to that, just because of how versatile he is when he's out on the field. We know Drew Sample's out there, what they're probably going to do. When Mike Gesicki's out there, you know what they're probably going to do. Well, you don't necessarily know that with Eric All because he's such a Swiss Army knife, and he can really do every phase of the tight end position very well. And that's why I'm so excited to see him, take those next steps in this offense, hopefully stay healthy for a complete season. And do we want to take our stab at predicting what his numbers might look like this year if he's fully healthy for 17 games?
Yeah, let's do it, because he's going to matter. He's going to play. They lose Noah Fant. You mentioned they signed Jack Endries, Eric All coming back. Let's make your predictions on the whiteboard. Catches, yards, touchdowns. Obviously, blocking is a huge part of it for Eric All. We will start. We'll go Marisa, Jacob, and then myself. We won't do it all together. We'll go one by one here. Your predictions for Eric All. We'll start with Marisa.
All right, I'm going to go, I feel like I'm a little high on this, but 45 receptions.
Oh, my God.
480 yards and 3 touchdowns, because if you look at his numbers from 2024, averaged out over the full season, that would have been 38 receptions for almost 300 yards. He didn't have a touchdown there. But I also look back at Gesicki's numbers in 2024. Gesicki had 65 receptions, 665 yards. I think he's going to eat into some of Gesicki's production, just for the sheer fact that I think Eric All might be the tight end that's on the field the most for the Bengals this year. And I don't think that's crazy for me to say that.
I thought I was going to be the optimistic one. So I'm glad that you are also on board here with Eric All. I completely agree. I think he could be the tight end that's on the field as much as anyone, if not the most, at the tight end position. But I don't necessarily know if that takes Mike Gesicki off the field. And that's my hang-up with comparing their stats. But coming in a little bit lower than Marisa with the same number of touchdowns, still 3 touchdowns, but 32 receptions, around 350 yards. I think he's a real difference maker for this team. I think he does play the inline tight end as much, if not more, than anyone on this team this year. And I think it's a role that he'll be able to have a lot of success in. We've seen almost every single tight end in the Joe Burrow era that's been dropped in here have a lot of success and get paid off of it in the ensuing years. Mike Gesicki stuck around, and we appreciate that quite a bit, and hopefully Eric All can be the next tight end to have career-high success in this Bengals offense.
Man, if Eric All averages 10-plus yards per catch, which is what you have, and you have.
Yeah.
Whoo-wee, hot mama, best offense in the league. Not just because you look at it, Gesicki averaged 11 last year. He's a wide receiver. The two tight ends, Fant, Hudson, averaged just over 8 because of some of those dump-offs. And that's why I'm at the catches, 34 catches, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. What is that? What do I base it on? Noah Fant last year, very similar, 34 catches, 288, 3 touchdowns. A healthy Mike Gesicki is a big part of this. And part of Eric All's value is going to be what he can do in line, what he can do blocking-wise, which is going to open up other things. It's going to help Chase Brown. It's going to help these receivers. It might help Andre Yosevach. It's certainly going to help Joe Burrow in general. And so that's where some of his value comes from. But basically, if he's healthy, I think he's going to slot in and do all of the Noah Fant stuff, but without the 3 fumble sixes.
That's what I was about to ask.
No, Eric All is not going to do that.
1?
0.
Zero.
Don't do that.
Good. Well, just make it sure.
Noah Fant had the worst luck ever. By the way, he had the worst luck ever.
3 is insane.
It is insane. Yeah. It killed them in the Minnesota game. Like, they had a chance. They had a chance. Like, it was a weird moment where it was like, oh, well, if they go get points here, and then Noah Fant said, hey.
Isaiah Rodgers was the best defender to ever play football that day.
That day.
I said that day.
In the first half.
Well,
just
but he did enough in the first half. The second half wasn't necessary.
At halftime, I was like, well, this was a dumb game to come to. I'm glad I had fun in Minnesota before this game.
Cool stadium.
Locker rooms.
Heard that stadium.
Stadium's awesome. Area was awesome. 34 catches, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I think that's the beauty. Any of these numbers would be successful. And here's why. If he can be on the field, he's going to help this team. We know it. His physicality, his skill set. Hopefully he can get on the field. We will have plenty more Bengals coming your way. And if you're just joining us, coming up before 11 when we say goodbye to you for the weekend, we'll get to the training camp schedule. But up next, it's Reds, it's Diamondbacks. It's a must-win series for the Redlegs at GABP. We'll preview it coming up next right here on First Word.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
And there were 2 big trades on Monday, but the news of Monday, the big news, the reason why Joe Burrow is a happy man today is that guy named Myles Garrett. He's no longer in the AFC North. Myles Garrett traded to the Los Angeles Rams in a deal as we were show prepping. We were reacting to the Ellie news and talking about that. And then Myles Garrett gets dealt to the Rams for a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick, all in consecutive years, 27, 28, and 29, along with Jared Verse. My instant reaction was, heck yeah, at least Myles Garrett isn't in the AFC North and Joe Burrow doesn't have to deal with it.
Remember a few months ago when the conversation was Joe Burrow has to play Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt 2 times a year each?
Wow.
Where'd that go?
Where did that go?
It was quick.
Very
short-lived for sure, and certainly great news for the Bengals. I do think this is a great trade by the Browns in terms of the return, and obviously it's a win for the Bengals, but to get a player like Jared Verse, who's a great young player at the edge rusher position, is a solid return, and then the 2027 first, and what will be a really, or what should be, it's not fair to speak too far in advance, but what should be a really good first-round draft class next year, and the Browns building a pretty exciting young core, but still missing the biggest piece, and the piece we all know you need to compete in the NFL, the quarterback. And so many questions at that position in Cleveland, not for a lack of money spent, but Myles Garrett on to the Rams, and the most talented roster in the NFL just gets a little bit more talented.
What is The Crown? It's simple, really. Authentic Cincinnati entertainment. Not hot takes from a studio 3 states away. Not national noise pretending to know this city. Rather, bringing a voice to those who call the Queen City home. Where can I watch The Crown shows? Join us live from 7 to 11 a.m. for First Word and 12 to 1 for the Working Lunch on RESN. No live TV? No problem. Stream and interact with all of our content on major podcast, broadcast, and streaming platforms. The Crown is Cincinnati. Loud, passionate, competitive, proud. From early morning sports debates to the business leaders shaping the riverfront, to the fans, stories, moments, and culture that make this place move. Live shows, podcasts, documentaries, digital content built from Cincinnati, for Cincinnati. This is The Crown.
Hey, I'm Marisa Contipelli, one of the co-hosts on First Word and a features producer here on The Crown, where I will be out and about in Cincinnati bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City. Now, I know I'm from Cleveland, but I love my Cincy sports. I've been in Cincinnati for almost a decade now, spending the last 8 seasons with the Bengals as a team reporter and senior producer. I am so excited to be a part of the team here at The Crown, and I can't wait to bring you the latest from around the city.
Hit him with the hezzy. First Word rolls on a Friday. Fired up Friday here. What? Because I waited a couple seconds?
The worst part.
Yeah. Waited a couple
we talked
seconds.
about this last night. The worst part about counting the repeat and repeens was looking at the hezzies, because at the desk they feel like 5 to 10 minutes.
And it's
like
it's not
3
that
seconds.
long.
Yeah, I know.
But that
it
one, you were
feels
smiling
that
the entire
long.
time, just staring at us. I wish we would have had Snoop Cam on.
So
for
the
that.
music hit, and I'm just staring at him.
And
they
Gabe
said go.
already gave the cue.
And I'm.
But you're smiling.
There we go. Yeah, that's true. Smiling. There we go.
He's loving it.
It's Friday. It's a fired up Friday here on First Word. We are your morning sports show, Cincinnati, every single weekday, 7 to 11, right here on The Crown. Live on YouTube right now, live on X as well, at First Word Cincy, of course, on RESN every single weekday. Let's dive into the Cincinnati Reds, because of the 3 of us, we're going to go to a combined 5 Reds games. Marissa's going to 3.
Whoa. This side of the desk is going to be combined 5 Reds games.
It took me a second.
That's stat-wise. That was great.
He's trying to twist
Big
it.
time.
No, I'll let him have that one.
One of the 3 of us is going to watch all 3 on TV. Big watching the Reds on TV guy. You guys are going to be in the ballpark for 5 of the 6. You're going Friday, Sunday. You're going to be there for all 3.
This is such a confusing way to say what you're saying.
It's my favorite. Anyways, it's a big series for the Reds. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They're going up against the 500 Diamondbacks team with a sweep, which that broom over there is collecting dust because the Reds haven't swept since Rodney bought it. Well, a sweep will get the Reds back to 500. They have Nick Lodolo, Rhett Lauder, and Andrew Abbott on the mound. It is a huge home series against an Arizona Diamondbacks team that you should be able to compete with.
Look, they've barely won a series since Rodney brought that broom. So I'm not even ready to ask for a sweep. I would like for them to win the series this weekend against the Diamondbacks and get this ball rolling back on track. It sets up pretty well for the Reds starting pitching-wise. Lodolo, Lauder, Abbott. It's obviously Chase Burns has been the ace so far this season, but any 3 you can get, that's a 3 you're pretty confident in giving you a chance to win those games. And with the Reds right now, where the bullpen's at injury-wise and the arms they have available to them, the name of the game this weekend is going to be length. These 3 pitchers have to give length in their starts. The Reds don't have a bullpen that can pick up, 4 innings if it gets to that point. You're going to have to get through at least 5, hopefully 6, to give this team a chance.
What's the confidence? Where would the starters have to get to where you're confident the bullpen's going to get it done? I don't think there's any.
If we get a combined 16 innings out of the 3, I'm feeling all right.
Oh, really?
I think that's like the floor.
2 5s and a 6.
2 5s and a 6. I'm feeling all.
I need a lot of run support.
I need 2 6s.
I need a lot of run support
higher.
in that
2
scenario.
6s and a 4.
No, like 2 6s and a 5.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, I'm trying to give them a barometer I think they can clear. Right. So, in that sense of things as well, because it is coming down to the starting pitching. There's not arms in the bullpen to have faith in.
No, and honestly, Rodney, I think we need to take the broom home until we can use it. Maybe like try to return it, reverse whatever juju is going on here. But no, we've talked about some recent series that the Reds have faced teams struggling entering in, and that those teams seem to find a way to take the series win. That cannot happen this weekend against this Arizona team who have lost 5 of their last 6, and in that stretch they've scored no runs in each of their last 2 losses. They have an outlier where they scored 6, and then their other 2 losses, they only scored a run in each of those games. This Diamondbacks team has really been struggling offensively, and I know you're shaking your head because we hate the stats that I just threw out there.
They just sound so due.
No, that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with what you're saying. I'm just like, oh, man, this Arizona lineup, they've been struggling.
In April, you read me those stats. They're sweeping them, and I love it. Now you read me those stats, and
it's what we did. What I said for the Padres, we're batting under 200 in the last week going in, and then we saw literally. I just pulled it up as a team. They're batting. The Diamondbacks over the last week batting 189. So I don't love that now that we've, come to that realization.
We should love that. And that's the frustrating thing about where the Reds are right now is there's not really any opponent that can come into Great American, and you have a ton of confidence that the Reds are going to win the series. It's a very frustrating place to be for a team that had really high aspirations coming into this year.
And the thing you need, and if the Reds are going to get back on track and get back into playoff contention or be actual playoff contenders, however you want to frame it, Lodolo, Lauder, Abbott, you should be winning that series. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when you have those starters on the mound, you need your starting pitching to be your strength. It's what their strength was coming into the year. They lose Hunter Green. Obviously, Lodolo got hurt. Well, Lodolo's back. Lauder got hurt. Lauder's back. How much of Lauder are you going to get? What is he going to be? The command is going to be a major issue. But before you even get to Saturday, and we're talking about Lauder and how long he could go, you need Lodolo to step up tonight. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of it. You lose 4 straight series, and the Reds have lost 4 straight series. They aren't handling their business in Game 1. They're blowing leads in Game 1. They're losing that momentum early in these series, and that's been that's led to the snowball effect. If they had handled business last Friday against the Cardinals, that whole series feels different. And they were in position early. They scored 3 in the first inning. Yeah, wasn't the run support from the jump there, and so that's it. Is for me, of course, they have to hit. Of course, there are bullpen concerns. That's not going to change. It doesn't matter who's in the bullpen right now or who they call on. We're not going to feel great about it. The starting rotation needs to be a strength. It needs to be the thing that they lean on. The only way we're going to feel that way is if guys like Lodolo, Lauder, Abbott's done it. He's turned that corner. He's all-star Abbott. These other 2 guys, they need to step up and they need to handle their business starting tonight.
The gap has certainly gotten bigger from the starting rotation to the bullpen to the lineup throughout the season. There's no way around that. But this is the same conversation that was being had before opening day. If the Reds were going to win the division, if the Reds were going to compete for anything this year, it was going to be because the rotation was one of the best in baseball. Now, that unraveled pretty quickly with Lodolo and Hunter Green starting the season on the injured list, but now you're getting pretty close to that rotation that you thought you were going to have before the start of the season. And at some point, those guys have to start pitching like it and give the Reds that strength that they were supposed to have. Because the best possible case for this lineup was always a little bit above average. And I think the best case scenario for this pitching staff is the best in baseball.
Yeah,
I think that's fair, especially with the way Chase Burns has delivered beyond what you could have imagined, realistically imagined. I mean, the idea of Hunter Green, Chase Burns, Nick Lodolo being what he was, or hopefully is still, and then you have Rhett Lauder in there. Like, that's a heck of a 1 through 4, and I left out the all-star and Andrew Abbott. Like, the guy who I think I'm as confident in him as I am any of these guys to get you 5 or 6 innings anytime you need it. The other guys have been inconsistent outside of Chase Burns. So that's one part. Here's the other part. Big weekend for Eugenio Suarez.
Yes.
Huge.
And they need him to be the power hitter that they thought they were signing before spring training. It hasn't been there. He only has 5 home runs. This is a revenge game. He had 36 home runs for the Diamondbacks last year. You guys smirk at the revenge game. They didn't want you anymore. They traded you. They kicked you to the side. They were talking with the Reds and the Mariners and others. Kick them today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
You think good vibes Gino wants revenge on anybody?
I would be if someone traded me, even if it made sense and I understood it, I would never forget that.
If that's what it's going to take to get his back going a little bit more, that's totally fine. He's going 190 over the last 7 games, but 3 for his last 9. So I'm really hoping
he fits right in that Diamondbacks lineup.
Oh God,
189, 190.
Well, he's not there anymore, so
I know.
Let's hope that helps. But no, I mean, collectively though, as a group, over the last week, I know they haven't won a series yet, but they're batting .255. So at least the bats seem like they're starting to come around a little bit more than what we had seen earlier in May. It was much worse than that, and they've scored 22 runs.
Brian Hayes isn't walking through that door.
Thankfully.
He's not going to come save the day at the plate. So they're going to have to do it themselves.
Yeah, and if he was walking through that door, they'd probably have to do it themselves anyway, because I think he's hitting about 120. But the frustrating thing with Suarez's struggles so far this year is the lesser additions to the lineup this offseason have played so well. Nathaniel Lowe and J.J. Bleday have been stars in this lineup. We're talking about J.J. Bleday being an all-star this year, and it's a legitimate conversation that we probably need to have on the show next week, because we got to start that propaganda train, because he's not getting the votes his stats deserve. But Suarez was the big money spender that was supposed to swing this lineup to being closer to a strength for this team, and the fact that he's underperforming when the other pieces are playing really well, that's frustrating, because if anyone was going to have a great season, you thought it would be Suarez. So the fact that they were able to get these impact players for cheaper contracts, Bleday with multiple years of team control, if Suarez would just play to the expectation of him this season, it would change so much for this team, because they found things in places we didn't think they would.
And I also hope to see Noelvi Marte in the lineup tonight too, since he's been recalled. He's batting .333, had 2 hits in the game on Wednesday. We saw what he can do on the base paths too. Jacob?
I don't know. Maybe don't give up on the former top 20 prospect.
I think he's not going to be in the lineup.
I would probably agree, because I'm going to the game. Of course, Tito's going to keep him out of the lineup.
I should have brought the bobblehead up here.
Bench him just for Jacob.
No,
Only for.
No.
I'm kidding. I want him in the lineup. I do. I want him in the lineup. We will get to Reds Diamondbacks in a ton more, including a state championship next on First Word.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
You were not getting college. You went to school for drama.
Yes.
Which is, let me tell you what. If any creatives out there who are not actively creating, it makes you go crazy. And I have witnessed firsthand a creative who didn't professionally create and had to take care of so many damn kids and husbands along the way, and it drove you crazy for so long. Now, as a grown woman at this point and been in my career as long as I have so much perspective on your life and how you were in all of your 30s and your 40s, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you created in your home. You made our homes were beautiful, but I feel like, oh my God, because when I don't create, I go nuts. Like, I go absolutely nuts.
I was busy. Obviously. I was busy with my children. And
Well, I'll say this. You had 4 kids by the time you were 28. We had a great life.
we did.
Yeah, we had a great life. We weren't the richest, we weren't the smartest, we weren't the anythingist ever. But we had a blast. We had a house, we had a dog, we had a pool, we went to school, we had a bunch of friends.
Thank God I had a rich mother. That helps a lot.
Man, I wonder what that's like. God.
You never know.
I won't. Not at all. Well, so now if you could give me any advice at 40 years old, single girl, what would you say?
Get pregnant. Immediately.
Well, there we go. If anyone's got some
All
strong
official
DNA.
insemination. Just make sure the guy is smart and handsome.
Yep. Okay. True.
Who has more yards, Mitch Tinsley or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Odell.
This year?
I think so.
Mitch Tinsley. I'll bet. What do you want to bet? Lunch.
Sure.
Lunch.
Works.
Clip it, Gabe. Lunch. There's no way Odell. And I'm a receiver guy. It's over.
I think he's going to be good.
It's over. Mitch Tinsley's good.
Yeah.
Mitch Tinsley probably starts for New York.
I don't disagree, but he doesn't start for the Bengals.
No
and
doubt.
Odell might start for the Giants.
Yeah.
No, he won't. What, you big Darius Slayton fan?
Yes. Way better than Odell.
Yeah.
Odell hasn't played in a meaningful game.
Jalen Hyatt?
Since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
I did see some
against the Bengals.
Yeah, some
Just to be
Dolphins
clear.
jerseys on the graphics yesterday.
He played for the Dolphins, but he didn't play. Chad Johnson had a bigger impact for the Dolphins than Odell.
No, you're right. I'm certainly not expecting Odell to be a good receiver this year, but I do think he'll be on the field.
I can't believe I became the anti-wide receiver guy there. But yeah, give me Mitch Tinsley all day long. First word rolls on as Marisa Contipelli gears up for a weekend at Great American Ballpark. You thought I was going to say vacation. No.
I didn't know
Marisa.
where you were going to go with that one, honestly.
Hope it feels like a vacation at the ballpark this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so
Yeah,
as
that
well.
would be
Get some
great.
wins.
Hey, regardless, you know what you should do? Hit that subscribe button on YouTube where you can watch us live every single day on the First Word YouTube channel. And if you missed some of the show during the week, well, guess what? We're going to have clips all weekend, all throughout the weekend, but live 7 to 11 every single weekday. Also on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network, live on Mixler. You can catch us wherever you get your podcast. And, of course, check out the entire Crown lineup, including the Working Lunch with Jack Crumley live noon to 1 today, where he's getting a transmission right now about the latest on the Cincinnati Reds. All right, it's Reds, it's Diamondbacks, 3-game series at GABP. Make your prediction. Jacob, you're second. Start with Marisa.
Gee, well,
Let's go.
You really caught me on that one.
I knew it, yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 series win. They're going to win tonight with Lodolo on the mound and Sunday with Abbott.
I'm obviously going to pick the wins I'm going to. So same as her, Friday, Sunday, Reds win the series. I'm confident. I think it's more likely they sweep than lose the series.
Woo! Clip it.
I see that broom over there, and if I trusted Coop Dog to hand me that broom, I don't. He's by a really nice camera. I would get that broom because I think it's going to be a sweep.
I hope so.
I think the Reds, they're good enough to tease us all season long, and that's what is about to happen.
So imagine this on Monday. We're sitting here with the Reds at 500 coming off a sweep and a phenomenal Ellie De La Cruz MRI update. How much does that change the view of this Reds team as we progress through the summer?
And we will be monitoring that for sure on Ellie. Could he play tonight? I think they'll hold him back, but I don't know, man. I know he's pushing. We will see, but I'd be surprised. A ton to get to tonight. We have a huge state final. It's St. X, it's Moeller. It doesn't get any bigger than this. Two schools 8 miles from each other playing in Akron for the D1 Ohio Boys Baseball State Championship. I love this. I love that it's two GCL teams. I hope we get a classic.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute blast. Treat for everyone down here in Cincinnati, playing up in Akron. Moeller sending a couple buses of students up there to watch this game, support some of their classmates. I assume X will do the same. Haven't heard yet, but hoping so. And it'll be a great game. 151st meeting between these two teams. Only the first time they've met in state since 2000.
Hoping it goes down to the wire. The Stanley Cup has been going down to the wire. It's 3-2. Carolina with the victory last night. Prediction, does it go 7?
I think it does. It's been such a back and forth series, and it's been so fun. I think this goes 7.
I hope it goes 7.
I want it to.
I want it to go 7 as well. The NBA Finals. Man, oh man. Tomorrow night, Wemby gets an extra day. Can Wemby and the Spurs play another day and get it back to the Garden? So we're talking about it on Monday morning.
I think they do. I think it'll be 6. I think Knicks in 6.
We'll be talking about Mike Brown holding the Larry O'Brien.
You think so? Your favorite coach, Mike Brown. Great coach. Has been the best coach in this series. I lean Spurs in that one. We will see.
I hope so.
I lean Spurs in Game 5. They've had a double-digit lead in every game, and they're down 3-1.
I think this is the first game they don't.
Talk about a bullpen issue. Got a major bullpen issue in San Antonio. You're right. It may take its toll. I think the one thing that they had, the 3 days, they play Saturday. It's a 3-day break. And then 3 days until the next game, Tuesday night. So we'll see there. World Cup watch parties. FC Cincinnati holding watch parties. It's World Cup night, and Team USA playing tonight. There's a look at the schedule. Plenty with watch parties kicking off tomorrow.
Yes, well, watch parties kicked off yesterday when Mexico took the pitch, but a lot of options for you to watch Team USA as they have a 9 o'clock kick tonight against Paraguay. Make sure you get out and support. It's going to be a great World Cup, and should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. Go Team USA. Go everybody that's watched, listened, and supported Cincinnati's only morning sports show. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Plenty coming your way, even though our live edition is over. For Jacob Tissot and Marisa Contipelli, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening to First Word.